Hard cash, 50-50. The Westshore Rebels and Westshore Stadium want you to have an enjoyable and safe afternoon. The players, all the Rebel players and management encourage you to cheer loudly and support your team, but please keep in mind that the Canadian Junior Football League is a great family entertainment and abusive language will not be tolerated. We remind you that the Westshore Stadium is a non-smoking environment and thus that you drink responsibly. The Rebels and the Westshore Stadium management thank you for your cooperation, so please enjoy the game. And the Westshore Rebels family would like to thank Coach Shannon Camille and the entire Rebels cheerleader squad for all of their hard work and enthusiasm that they bring to each and every day. Members, police, firefighters, first responders. If you're here with one of those special heroes here today, could you please just send me up a scrap of paper and let me know the name of that person and who she or he is and who they're serving with. We'd love to share that information. Also, if there's any birthdays, anniversaries, other special occasions, please feel free to send that up here too and we can celebrate that. Just waiting for the visitors to come out. In the meantime, I'd like to say a big hello to Bob Whitwell. Bob Whitwell, a timer for today's game. He was in the Air Force for many, many years and worked with the Sea Kings. Congratulations, Bob Whitwell.
Thank you.
Ready to come out.
Yeah, he's already set up. Yeah, I just didn't see him sneak in there because usually he's over here.
He used to be with us, and went to the Nano. Now he's with the Rams. He coached the Gallery, the latest coach of BC FC history. And however, he's on the other team today. And we promise a really good game. Well, sports fans, let's put our hands together and welcome your Westshore Rebels! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you please rise for the singing of the national anthem and remove your headdress, please.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to West Hill Stadium. I'm Tyler McLaren, joined by Paul Short. Big football game today in a tight playoff race. The Langley Rams come into the game with a record of 3-3. The Westshore Rebels, big win last week against the Kamloops Broncos, sitting at 3-2-1. Paul, when you look at the standings, I guess all you can say is close and parity and all these kinds of good things leading into the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those years where you dream of, where everybody's competitive, and putting Chilliwack into the mix, that really helps a lot to have the 5 teams fighting for the playoff spots. But this game today is very important. A Rebel win, it's going to put pressure on Chilliwack and on the Rams. The Rams win just kind of loosens it up a little bit and starts to spread everybody out, but it'll be a good game.
These two teams met in week 1 in Langley. The Rebels came away with a 19-16 win over the Rams. A lot has changed for the Rebels. New head coach, some new players, some players that are no longer here. Can the teams take anything away from that week 1 matchup that they had in Langley way back in August?
I think so. I think that from a Rebel standpoint, they came back to win that game in the fourth quarter. And from the Rams, that was kind of like their MO at the time. They were losing games in the fourth quarter. So I think both teams did learn from it as far as, what we have to do to prevent this from happening and what we have to do to make this happen.
Big playoff implications today. Do the Rebels have an advantage being here at West Hill Stadium or with the ferry and the long travel for the Rams?
Oh, anytime you're on the BC Ferry cruise, it changes everything when you step on this side of the water. It changes everything how do you prepare. You're enticed on the ferry to the food, to the gifts, to the games, everything. So it takes your mind off it for a while, but it's an advantage for the Rebels because it's a home game.
Absolutely. The conditions couldn't be any more perfect today. Both these teams like to throw the ball. The Rebels with the dual quarterback right now with Ashton McKinnon and Mason Brown. The Rams have gone pretty much all year with Duncan Little.
Yes.
Do you expect to see more of an air show today, or teams establishing the run as the weather changes heading into the playoffs?
I think they're going to throw the football. I think the difference is for the Rebels today is going to be Ashton McKinnon. Apparently he's starting the game, and he's not afraid to run when he has to run, and even if he has to pull the ball down, he will run. But I think the Rams probably want to challenge the Rebels through the air and to stop their running attack. Because I think Khalil James from the Rebels is just kind of waiting to burst out. He's a good running back, so he's going to find his legs at some point, and they just don't want it to happen today.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to a great game today. Welcome to West Hill Stadium. Big game today between the Westshore Rebels and the Langley Rams with huge playoff implications on the line. Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to West Hill Stadium. Beautiful day for football. I'm Tyler McLaren, joined by Paul Short on the broadcast today, presented by Remax Treeland Langley. Thank you for joining us. Beautiful day for football today. About 5 minutes before kickoff as the captain enter into the field, and playoff implications on the line today, Paul, as we talked about in the pregame. Not much more to say other than this is as tight as it can possibly be in the standings this late in the season.
Well, this is one of those games that I think at the end of the day, whoever comes out of this surviving this win is going to be sort of not in the driver's seat, but the head up on the next team below them in the standings. But it's an important game as well, again, for trying to establish where your program's at. The Rebels are just a couple games in with under new coach Shane Beatty, and they're still learning a new system. And the Rams are slowly getting that confidence back of those fourth quarter losses they had earlier in the year. They've been able to turn them around the last couple of games and put 2 wins together. So for Coach Blocker, it's important to maintain that momentum. And being a game between these two is something the Rams have to prove, because it's also been very difficult for them to play in Victoria. Last time they won here was in 2015, so there's been 4 games in between that they haven't had a victory. So as you look at it, there's a lot of little things hanging out there that you want to try to capture and put in your hand to say, okay, job well done.
And of course, the Langley Rams, as you mentioned, the winners of 2 straight. They had a big win up at the Apple Bowl in Kelowna, and then last week came away with a 35-19 win over the Valley Huskers and a big win at home. They're starting to put it together now. Offensively, new coaching staff, new head coach. I think they're now starting to put the pieces together and starting to show what they were supposed to be like when the season kicked off.
Absolutely, and I think the players that Coach Blocker brought in blend with each other with the guys that stayed on, and that's the most important part of football and team sport, is that gelling of everybody getting along and cooperating and working and pulling in the same direction.
And of course, the Rebels coming off their victory last week, a big 4-point victory over the Kamloops Broncos, 34-20. What did you take away from that game against the Broncos last week, and how the Rebels are evolving under Shane Beatty?
Well, I think from a discipline standpoint, they were much better. They still took a lot of penalties at, I think, almost 200 yards, but they weren't the type that really hurt them a lot. And again, that could have been the competition. You know, Kamloops, we know that this has been a little bit of a down year for them. But I think the Rebels were slowly working through some of the new offense that they put in, some of the new defensive schemes they put in, just to see how can we make this work. And in all fairness to Kamloops, it was a game that the Rebels needed, just to say this is where we're at this point. But Kamloops played very, very well. I was quite surprised how they, knowing that their season, they're not going to make the playoffs, but they came out playing like they were a playoff team, which I was very proud of that.
And of course, the standings we've referenced a couple times. Of course, how many times have we seen it this tight with merely 2 points separating the first place team from the 5th place? And it seems every week that all of a sudden you can easily jump from 1st to 3rd or 4th to 2nd, or a dramatic switch just with 1 victory or 1 loss.
Yeah, I've never, that I recall, not something like this. I can remember final standings back, I think it was 2001, when we had 2 divisions in the league, and the Rebels missed the playoffs with I think it was a 6-3-1 record. But that was the top 2 teams in the division advance in the playoff. But not like this. I don't think I've ever seen it where from 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, it's so close. 1 win or 1 loss is going to move you around and up and down the standings.
I think that went back to the old days where it was the Island Division and the Coastal Division, if my memory serves correct, back in the early 2000s.
I think that's what. Something like that. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful day for football. We're about to get kicked off here. Weather's beautiful. Not much, little breezy that we can see in the flags. Weather shouldn't be a factor from what we can tell. Although with the breeze, you never know. We might get a little sprinkle, but as of right now, weather is perfect and a great day for football.
Yeah, they might find the wind a bit strong. It is blowing pretty good here, and it just knocked the ball off the tee, so there is a bit of a stiff wind blowing.
The Rams will be kicking off from our right to our left. We're in the familiar white uniforms. Rebels will be going from our left to our right in their brand new red uniforms that seem quite sharp, I think, this year. That seem to have gone over quite well.
Well, yeah, they look okay. It's just I think some of the guys just forget to tuck them in.
Yes, it's a fashion. We're too old. We don't know what fashion is, I guess, anymore.
That's true, yeah. But mind you, when we used to play, we never had everybody wearing the same type of uniform. We used to take them home, and if you had a white one with red numbers, they'd turn a pink jersey, and it's kind of like, okay.
So we're underway here at West Hill Stadium. Wind holds the opening kickoff up, picked up by Greenaway at about his own 25. Makes a move, cuts to his left, and finally spun down just past about the, we'll call it the 30, it looks like about the 32, 33-yard line. Decent field position for the Rebels to get going here.
Yeah, not bad. I think on the kickoff return there to the ball, the wind held the ball up, so that allowed it to bounce, and it allowed the converging team to get down on top of it.
Looks like Ashton McKinnon will be the starting quarterback today for the Rebels. I noticed on our rosters, Mason Brown is scratched for today, so looks to be Ashton McKinnon going the whole distance today for the Rebels, barring an injury.
Yeah, talking to Rob Lurvo, Rebels president, before the game, and he said that Mason came up with a sore knee, and it just was swelled up on him, and so they decided to sit him for this one.
So McKinnon under center, 1st and 10 Rebels. Play action, hands the ball off to the left. Good cut there, good break for the Rebels on the opening play as he scampers about 15, 17 yards in the first down. We'll get a number. I don't think that's Khalil James, as I believe he's also injured today. But we'll get a number on who the running back was there for the Rebels on the replay.
Kane Stevenson, number 2.
It was Kane Stevenson. So with the Khalil James not in the lineup, Kane Stevenson expects to be a big part of the Rebels' offense today.
He's like the Swiss Army knife for the Rebels. He plays offense, defense, he returns kicks.
McKinnon in the shotgun, 1st and 10, hands the ball off to Provo. Good fill by the Rams there, stuffing that for minimal, if any, gain. Maybe we'll call it a gain of 1 on the play as the Rams defense swarmed and tackled Provo for a short gain.
That's interesting. Their new Provo was a running back. He's a very good linebacker, and I think this is probably his first carry all year.
I know Coach Beatty said that the Rebels won't shy away from using Kane Stevenson and Deshaun Greenaway even on defense, so I would expect it's all hands on deck here for both teams, and as they need wins heading into the playoffs.
No, last week against Kamloops, both Stevenson and Cody Holmes played both ways for the Rebels.
So 2nd and 9, McKinnon in the shotgun. Looks to be pressure coming from the Rams. Now they do come. Quick drop, quick throw out to Stevenson. Tries to break a tackle into Rams territory. He looks to be about maybe a yard short of the first down after he caught after a pass by McKinnon, and he looks to be just short, and the punt team looks to be coming out.
Yeah, it was good, not a bad little play there. Just, you're stretching the field a little bit, but Beatty's making a good decision here to punt the football. Got the wind at his back.
Wind at the back, hopefully pin the Rams offense deep, and it's early in the game, so no sense in short fielding your defense. Looks to be about we'll call it 3rd and 2 actually on the play. And looks like Ashton McKinnon will be doing the punting duties as well.
Definitely going to kick it to the sideline.
Snap is good, kick is good, kicks the ball, angles it to the left. Doesn't get out of bounds, but comes down to Joe Carter around the 15-yard line. Good downfield coverage by the Rebels. Looks like number 35 was quickly downfield on the play for the Rebels, making the tackle.
Yeah, it was good coverage considering the ball. Well, the wind held it up a little bit, but they had good coverage on that.
So the Rams will take over their first offensive plays of the day. Duncan Little will be coming out, familiar starting quarterback for the Rams, leading the charges.
He's having a good year.
He's been playing a lot better of late, too. I know the coaches are quite happy with him, and they're protecting him a lot better, I noticed, in the last couple of games.
Yeah, that's been the key for the Rebels as well. As these last couple of games have been, the quarterback's been protected a lot better. It's so important. Your quarterback's such an important position. You better have good O-line in front of him.
Little under center, looks to be pressure coming, hands the ball off straight up the middle. Max Joseph, I believe, on the carry. Good gain on first down as he looks to have about 11 or so on a first down for the Rams on a good first run of the game by number 2, Max Joseph.
He's a good running back. He's, Mr. Everything, for the Rams. Receiver, kick returner.
Yeah, he formerly was playing receiver in his early days and even with the Kamloops Broncos last season, and then started the year with the Rams and the receiver, but they've moved him into the backfield where they can utilize and get touches for him more often.
I've always, I sort of thought after Nathan Lund graduated last year, after this last season, that Joe Carter would be the guy, and because he had a year, I think it was 2016, he had a kind of a breakout year, but he just kind of very quietly just playing games, but he hasn't really jumped out of his shell, if you will, to dominate and take over that position.
So 1st and 10, Rams on about their own 35-yard line. Little drop back, quick throw out to Aglanetto, makes a man miss, but the Rebels swarm and bring him down and lunging for an extra yard or two. Good effort there by Nick Aglanetto, but he does look to be about a yard short of the first down, but a good gain on first down for the Rams.
He sure made some good yardage after the catch there because he broke 2 tackles and he got good punishment at the end there. 2 guys came in with Cody Holmes putting the last lick on him.
2nd and short, Rams running situation here. They have been running more 2-back offense in the last little while to help protect Duncan Little and keep him upright, and so far so good since they've made the transition to 2 backs.
Well, you don't see the I formation like they're in right now, and you very rarely see a quarterback under center. Which is kind of interesting.
Little quick sneak. Sorry, Paul. Duncan Little with a quick little sneak. It does get enough for the first down. And the Rams will move the chains as he gets probably about a gain of 2 there and a first down for the Rams.
Yeah, just follow the big boys and put your head down.
Good start here for the Rams as they do get a couple first downs to move the sticks here.
Start of the game with 6 officials, and I see CFL official Murray Clark on this sideline joined in. Now we got the 7-man crew.
Good to see. I know there's, with UBC playing tonight in their homecoming games, officials were a little at a premium this week.
That's interesting. I guess they put the call out to Murray because he wasn't here at the beginning.
Pass complete to Javon Katoy. Breaks the tackle, struggling, finally brought down just about midfield. Great gain by Javon Katoy as he makes his first catch of the day, and as he gets the ball, looked to be almost in Rebel territory, and another first down for the Rams.
Yeah, he's the Rams' leading receiver and high up in the league in receiving. He's got, so I could dig this up right here, he's number 4 in the league with 30 catches and 469 yards. and 8 touchdowns. He leads the second in the league in touchdown receptions. He's a specimen, that kid.
1st and 10 Rams right around midfield, little under center still. Joseph behind him, hands the ball off to Joseph out the right side. Good cut back to his left. Now gets into open field. Brought down very close to the first down. Maybe a little bit short. He was brought down on the play by number 4, Deron Kerr, after a good game for Joseph.
Yeah, another just a run up the middle. They've had success a couple times so far today. Just a run up the middle. He's getting some good blocking behind the big boys. And once you get in the second level, then an athlete like Joseph can use his cutting ability and his speed and change of direction to pick up those 6 or 7 extra yards.
Sneak situation potentially again for Duncan Little as he's under center, barks the signals. This time he'll throw on second and very short, trying to catch the Rebels off guard. Ball goes incomplete, but I suspect the Rams will be going for it here on 3rd down as they try and show a little surprise the Rebel defense throwing the ball on second and short.
Yeah, it was good coverage by Kane Stevenson, and the pass wasn't where you wanted it to be, and they just too much separation between the ball and the receiver, so an incomplete pass. So actually, I'm surprised they're going for this in a way this early in the game.
3rd and short, tries to quick snap. Looked to be movement on the play. Doesn't seem to be a flag. He does have enough for the first down. No call on the play, and it is a Rams first down. As Duncan Little sneaked through there for a Rams first down.
Yeah, just a little quick snap and catch them sleeping a little bit. But I kind of surprised sometimes when junior teams will go for it, and those things come back at the end of the day in a tight game that just kind of haunt you a little bit.
So the the Rams will continue in Rebel territory at about their 44-yard line. Little drops back, throws the ball, looking down the seam, intercepted on the play by Cody Holmes as he was looking for Javon Katoy. Now Holmes goes down the sidelines, got one man to beat. It's an offensive lineman. Now Little finally brings him down. Great play by Cody Holmes with a big play in the first quarter, changing the field, and now intercepts, bringing it down to the Rams 25-yard line.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Cody. I think the ball was held up a little bit by the wind because it was well behind Katoy on the pass. You can see in the replay, as the ball is released, as he steps into it, it's just hanging a little bit, and Cody just steps up in front of it.
Yeah, I think Javon thought that was going to go, Paul, I think he thought it was going to go further than it did, and he almost kept going when Cody Holmes checked up.
And then there's the speed of Maximilian Joseph to catch him and make the tackle.
Sorry, that was Max Joseph with the tackle on the play. I thought it was Duncan Little. Hand off, Kane Stevenson cuts to his left, now back to his right. Good gain on first downs. He probably picks up, looks to be from our angle, maybe 6 or 7 yards on the play. Kane Stevenson, good gain on first down.
Yeah, he's such a good athlete. You give him the football and he makes things happen every time.
Rebels now deep in Ram territory as we are just about the halfway point of the first quarter. Still scoreless here at West Hill Stadium. Beautiful day for football. Ashton McKinnon, though, back under center. 2 backs now for the Rebels on the play. Oops, looks like a bit of a broken play, and the Rams bring him down for a loss. Broken play on the play, and Ashton McKinnon was zigging when somebody was zagging, and the Rams sacked him, and for a big loss, bring up 3rd down, and maybe not even a field goal situation with this wind.
Yeah, it might be difficult for a field goal try. Yeah, again, like you said, it's just with new running backs in the backfield, there's bound to be a bit of confusion on what the play call and what you're supposed to be doing. But it looks like
they're going to try the field
goal. It's Murray Clark's son, the deep official there. It's his son, Kyle Clark, trying to field goal. So it's going to be about a 33-yarder. He was the Rebels' leading point getter last season.
See if the wind plays a part in this. Snap is good. Hold is down. Kick is up. Kick is blocked on the play. Now the scramble for the ball. It's not going to matter. The Rams will take over. Big play by the Rams as they block the field goal, keeping the Rebels off the scoreboard.
I think it was number 55 got his hands up on there. Sky King had a good name for him. Get up in the sky and block that. I think that was him that came through, 55, to get his hands on that ball.
Looking at the replay, it looks like Kyle's a little bit slow on the trigger there as the ball was on the tee for some time. And yeah, I believe you're right on that one. Did look like Sky King, and number 35 was in there as well. But big play by the Rams special teams. They'll take over 1st and 10 on about their own 37-yard line. There you go.
You turn one turnover to another turnover. Rams blocked the field goal try after a Rebels interception.
Blocking looked okay on that one. Did look on, and you could see on our replay that maybe Kyle was a little bit slow on the trigger there, from what we could tell, and the ball was on the tee for some time before his foot hit the ball.
Yeah, and the Rams had really good push up front. Between the tackles, they had good push.
1st and 10 Rams, little under center, hands the ball off to Joseph off the right, skips the tackle, cuts back to his left, cutting back across the field, finally brought down on the play. Good gain again for Max Joseph as he looks to have another, or very close to another, Rams first down.
Yeah, just put him through the first line of defense and then put him into the second level, and then he can make his cuts. You see on the replay here, he cuts back to his left, and you know, you're going to get tackled at some point because there's people around you, but you gain those little extra yards because you're such a good athlete and you got some great moves behind you because you keep your feet going and you get your shoulders north and south.
Max Joseph from the North Surrey Bear program. Standout there, now doing his thing in the BCFC. Duncan Little now 1st and 10 Rams. A little under center, blitz looks to be coming. This time off to the left side. Joseph breaks another tackle, cuts into Rebel territory, finally brought down. I think he's going to be about a yard short, but once again, great first down production from Max Joseph. This time he went off the left-hand side.
Well, it's one of those things that, you know, when you start having success on the ground running the ball, just keep running the ball until they stop you. And then then you throw a little play action pass in or something like that, and then that's how you move the football. You got it all schemed out, and you know exactly what you're doing, and you're trying to keep the defense on their heels.
Yeah, in the first game in Langley, I know the Rebels had a lot of success blitzing right up the middle there, and it looks to be something they're trying to do early here. Little under center, barks the signals. Toss out here to Joseph on the right-hand side. Cuts, breaks the tackle. Better fill on the play by the Rebels. He does have enough for a first down as we get our first flag of the day, and a late one, but it is a Rams first down, barring what the penalty is.
I think that might be a necessary roughness, late hit on the play, but yeah, Joseph just get the edge. They get a good block by 44 on the fullback. Just all they needed was 2 yards. Yeah, and Provo came in a little bit late there for piling on.
15-yard penalty against the Rebels here. Driving the ball a little bit deeper into Rebel territory. I like a lot of this old style football. The toss plays, the 2 backs, the I formation. Kind of a bit of a retro throwback from the RPO, the run pass option offense. You see a lot of teams are the 5 receiver sets. It's a little different look by both of these teams early on.
Oh, absolutely, and it's kind of strange to see it in junior ball. A lot of times now they just got the quarterback in a shotgun. You got one back in the backfield, but to see a I formation like this is quite rare.
Blitz looks to be coming again. Joseph off the left-hand side. Once again, good push by the Rams offensive line as Joseph gets a very positive yard. Probably looks to be about 6 or 7 on the play. As once again, good production on first down from Max Joseph and the Rams offense.
Yeah, they're getting good push up front, and every time he touches the ball, he's picking up at least 7 yards a run.
Rams drive, chewing the clock here as well with this drive on the ground. Gotta like that the big boys are pushing the ball down the field here.
Well, it's a good one because you're going into the wind, and you can keep the ball on the ground. That helps quite a bit because you know you're going to get the wind at some point.
2nd and a long, 3 on the play. Good fill this time by the Rebel defense. Joseph stopped in his tracks. He actually went backwards, I think, on the play, lost some yards, and now the Rams will have a decision on whether they could kick a field goal in this particular case.
Yeah, he's come up limping a little bit on the play there too, and yeah, they just ran out of space on that one. The Rebels overloaded the defense's right side, and I think Maximilian had nowhere to go, so just go to the ground.
Looks like the Rams will try a field goal. Looks to be about a 39-yarder. Matthias Bono will try and kick this one up for the Rams. Oh, it's I'm wrong. Line drive kick. It's wide to the left. Trying to bring it out is Cody Holmes on the play. He does get out of the end zone. Now he's got some open space. One man, it looks like the kicker to beat, and the kicker did bring him down on the play. That is number 84. I apologize, number 84, Jaden Shellen with the field goal attempt. That was wide left for the Rams.
Yeah, that was a good return. A lot of times the ball goes that deep. You try to get it out, but with those many guys covering, I thought Cody was going to take the knee for sure, but it was a good return.
And once he got past the first wave, I thought he would have nothing but green pasture ahead of him, but Rams were able to bring down Holmes, keep the return somewhat limited, although decent field position for the Rebels, starting off at their own 32-yard line here. And still a scoreless game as we approach 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Been a very, very fast first quarter.
McKinnon under center, I formation again. 2 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Hands the ball off straight up the middle. Looks to be Kane Stevenson again. Rams defensive line pushing. Not much there. The whistle, waiting for the whistle. Now we do get it. Minimal gain there, although positive yards to the Rebels on first down by Kane Stevenson.
I find it kind of strange the officials didn't blow the whistle there right away because his momentum was stopped. But again, one of those things that it's, you know, no harm, no foul at the end of the play. But, you know, I think you got to protect players a little bit better than that.
A little bit of a rugby scrum there, and that's usually when somebody will take a late hit, and people wonder why the whistle wasn't blown to prevent it.
That's correct.
So actually did get positive. Call it 4 on the play. 2nd and 6 for now for the Rebels. McKinnon now in the shotgun. He's got single back, 3 receivers. Greenaway now comes back across the formation. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Holmes now comes in formation. Now he will be on the left-hand side as well. Flag on the play. McKinnon drops back. Running room ahead of him. He will have enough for the first down as McKinnon ducks his head and gets banged down on his own 52-yard line. Flag on the play. I suspect this will be I believe a no end on the play by the Rebels. But we'll wait to see what the infraction was. But I believe it's going to be coming back, pending what the flag is.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Legal procedure. Yeah, no end.
No end on the play by the Rebels. Lots of motion and chaos there, and they didn't have their guy on the line of scrimmage on the end there.
And you also like the way that McKinnon, that he's not afraid to lower the boom on some of these guys because he likes the contact of this sport.
No end was the call on the play. Backing the Rebels up, 5-yard penalty. Negating the big gain by Ashton McKinnon. And it'll probably be about 2nd and 11 or so. Now passing situation here as we get close to about a minute left in the first quarter. Still a scoreless game with these teams just kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, and a very fast first quarter. And I'd be surprised to see Ashton do the same thing here, use his legs. He's the starting quarterback today because their #1 guy's down on an injury. But
McKinnon, intercepted on the play. Penalty flag on the play, but the Rams pick it off. Wait to see what the number is. I believe it's number 26. We'll see what the flag is on the play, but I don't know if McKinnon even saw him. We'll see on the replay here. I don't even think he saw him as he tried to throw the drag route underneath.
Yeah, just Anthony Backwell, number 26. He got up for it, and you see what the penalty is. Looks like a holding against the Rebels. That'll be declined.
Yeah, great field position and big play by E.J. Blackwell on the play. Now we will see what happens. The Rams look to draw first blood here as they get a big change of momentum play by their defense, giving them great field position.
Yeah, that was a good interception. Those are one of those ones that, you know, you kind of look up and the ball's there and you're lucky to get your hands on it. And he was able to grab it and, you know, pick up some good positive yards too.
Great opportunity for the Rams offense here as they will go 1st and 10 at the Rebel, we'll call it the 18-yard line. Sun glaring down on the yard markers makes it a little harder to see as opposed to normal. Little under center, drops back, looks to throw quickly, does throw it off his back foot, throwing in the middle where Katoya is. Ball is incomplete as Little was almost throwing that to a spot as the Rebels got great penetration there and knocked him over.
Yeah, they didn't give him much time to throw the football, so he just let it go and was hoping Katoya could get to it, but number 10, Cody Holmes, had good coverage on him.
Throwing it to where Katoya was going to be, but couldn't get a whole lot, couldn't step into the throw on that one for Little. And it will be 2nd and 10 for the Rams as they are deep in Rebel territory trying to get the first blood score of the game. Little still under center, 2 backs, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Might be the last play of the first quarter as Little drops back. Pressure again, they ran a screen to Joe Carter. Should have some running room here, breaks a couple tackles, finally brought down behind. He will be short of the play, looks to be short from our angle by Byron McKinnon, as the Rams try and go back to the trick that they used in week 1 where they completed a lot of screens and made some good yardage here, and now they do it again early in the first quarter, late in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was good call time, but I just noticed Carter went down, looked like an ankle, and he was in replacing Joseph. Well, Joseph's coming back on the field now, but you don't want to lose your running backs in the first quarter in games.
No, that week 1 score in Langley, 19-16 for the Rebels. The Rams' offensive success was pinned to a lot of those middle screens, and it kind of threw the Rebels for a loop as they blitzed a lot of pressure right up the middle, and the Rams countered that with the middle screens. And Joe Carter actually had a couple big plays in that game at McLeod Stadium.
Looks like they're going to try a field goal here, which might be a good move, I think, in my opinion, that come away with some points. The last play of the first quarter.
Joe Carter up on his own steam. Looked to be an ankle or so, but good to see him now jogging off to the Rams sidelines on his own, under his own steam.
Yeah, he's
important part of the Rams offense.
No kidding. He's a workhorse, that kid.
So the Rams will try the field goal here on what should be the final play of the first quarter. Jaden Shellen with the attempt. Missed his first one wide left earlier. This one from a little closer, but a tougher angle. High snap, gets it down, bangs it up, bangs it through. Langley Rams draw first blood here at West Hill Stadium. 3-0 over the Westshore Rebels. That was the final play of the first quarter.
Yeah, good end. Again, a turnover turns the points, and that's what you want to do. You want to get as you get your turnovers, turn them into points.
A good job on the hold there by bringing that one down after the high snap, and Rams draw first blood, and their defense there. That is the final play. The ref just gave us a signal for the wave the flag. Interesting first quarter. I think both teams had their opportunities and gave and bent but didn't break. But good first quarter. Very I guess safe is the right word. Nobody really taking a whole lot of shots down the field. Both teams trying to establish a run. Kind of, I guess, what you expect a little bit when everything is so tight and there's no margin for error.
Yeah, and I think as well, they're trying to feel each other out here because both teams have changed. Rams have gotten more comfortable within their new situation, while from the last time the Rebels they got a whole new head coach and they got some personnel changes. But the thing that surprised me for a game of this importance and the intensity of these guys since 1988, when the Rams and Rebels started playing football against each other, there was only one penalty, which is very unusual.
Very unusual. Very quick first quarter here. We will get going now in quarter number 2. Wind still swirling around here as we look at the flags in the end zone there. First down, Rebels will take the ball on their own 35. McKinnon in the shotgun, low snap, gathers it up, throws the ball low, pump fakes. Now he's going to try and run. He's brought down from behind on the play. Looks like number 23 was it on the play with the sack?
Sandu, yes.
Yeah, McKinnon looked like he had some green pastures, and then the Ram defender got him from behind.
Oh yeah, Sandu he tracked him down from behind pretty quick here on the replay. He got a hold of him and he didn't let it go. And that's a good tackle. That's a big man. McKinnon's a 6'6", 6'7" guy, and you got to really hold on to that guy because he's so strong.
No gain on the play here. Wind continues to howl here. A little bit of a gust here that we're even feeling up here.
I think it's just attracted to us. It's really windy.
McKinnon in the shotgun. Barking signals, moving some people around. Cody Holmes comes back across the formation. Now we're ready to go. Almost looked to be offside, but no flags on the play. Throws the ball down the seam. Cody Holmes with the catch. Good burst of speed as he gets deep into Ram territory. Finally brought down the play right around the Ram 30-yard line. Cody Holmes got inside. A great throw by McKinnon, and Cody Holmes turned the Jets on.
Oh, it's just a quick little post route right over the middle, and he made a fantastic catch to get up inside on that. And he just used his legs to start out run guys.
Kyle Clarat with the tackle after a big gain for the Rams, the Rebels on a big play by McKinnon to Cody Holmes. Cody Holmes showing his speed, and that's one thing I know Coach Beattie spoke very highly of Cody Holmes and how fast he is as a returner, as a receiver, and loves his speed.
He got himself out of trouble there after that first down, no gain, to turn that like that one, and right away you're right in the Rams territory. 1st and 10
Rebels at the Ram 30-yard line. McKinnon still in the shotgun, drops back, quick throw, nothing there, tries to make something with his feet, flicks the ball out. Number 15, Provo, jumps a man. What a play there. Love to see that one on the replay as the Rebels get about a 7-yard gain on some scrambling and improvisation by Ashton McKinnon.
Yeah, like I said, improvisation for sure, because he was shut down right away. He's got nowhere to go and just finds Provo standing out by him.
And again, you see the size and the strength of Ashton McKinnon as he was held up, and another Ram defender came in, and he was still able to flick the ball out to Provo for positive yards. Likely a gain of about 7 on the play. Rebels now trying to throw the ball a little bit and spread it out a little bit. Get Ashton McKinnon in the shotgun, as he is here. Drops back, looks to under pressure again. This time he's not getting away, and he has dropped down for a sack of loss of about 7 or 8 on the play. I think that was Sky King coming in again with a big sack. Once again, potentially pushing the Rebels out of field goal territory.
I think his clock in his head just ran out, and he said, I got to get out of here, and just nowhere to go.
Rams defensive line, good pressure there, as there were 2 or 3 guys that might have been able to bring McKinnon down for a loss on the play.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for this here, looks like.
Timeout on the play by the Rebels. They do want to think about it potentially here.
Yeah, I think, Ashton, I think on that last play, he was the guy he wanted to throw the ball to wasn't open, obviously, and then you got to try to bail as quickly as you can. And he tries to do things with his feet. He's very quick to make that decision. And this one just didn't work for him this time. And
I thought he had Kane Stevenson out of the backfield. Kane came from the Rebels offense left-hand side out to the right, kind of leaked out into the flats. Thought if he threw it to him quickly, he might have been able to potentially pick up the first down, but obviously he might not have saw him on that particular play.
That's true. And so far in this game, this is the most motion I've seen from the Rebels all year. They're working on new offensive formations, but they've got a lot of guys in motion, and that's something they haven't done in the past 3 games. So it's something Coach Beatty's brought to the table after the coaching change.
Looks like McKinnon's still on the field, so I suspect the Rebels will probably go for this.
Well, into the wind, I don't think it's a tough kick. It'd be almost like a 37-yard field goal try.
This swirling breeze, that's probably like kicking a 57-yard field goal.
But what you might see here is he's also the punter. He might take this ball and just snap it and punt it close to the goal line and have the guys cover.
Spread offense formation, 3 receivers to his right. Looks to be dropped back, pumps, now does throw. That's going to be picked off again. This time by it looks to be number 33 on the play. Yeah. Interception there. Might have been, I know it's hard, but he might have been smarter to even just knock the ball down as he was tackled immediately. But still, with the big interception for the Rams, with the turnover, we'll take the ball over deep in their own territory.
Isaiah O'Coley just, again, got up high, you get this one, he tipped it, and then said, that's my football, nobody else's.
Looking on the play, looking for number 14 on the play. Stephen Gilways. Apologize if we're pronouncing any names wrong. But the Rams get the ball now deep in their own territory. Probably, as we look, probably about the 18-yard line or so.
Yeah, both both teams are dodging these bullets here based on turnovers and the wind. I think the wind is playing a little bit more havoc on them than we realize.
Hands the ball off Joseph. Good gain on first down as he gets right around the corner. Now into Rebel territory. Foot races. Joseph goes down the sidelines. Beats his man. Will score on the play. Huge play by Max Joseph as he scores on a big run from about their own 20-yard lines into the end zone for a Ram touchdown. Heck of a run there by Max Joseph.
Yeah, he just caught the edge there. There's just a handoff to the outside, and he just used his speed. And once he got to the edge, and the Rebels started to chase it, speed takes over, and everybody turns into just like a relay, just running them down, trying to catch them. Not
Great
sure
run
that
there.
is 25 there for the Rebels. That's Rowan Silver had a shot at him, but just missed him. And then number 7 comes in, Eric Williams, and just gives him push from behind after he's over the goal line. But
great run by Joseph
run
on the play. Just the Rams offensive line just caved that right side of that Rebel defense in. Joseph, green pastures ahead of him.
Field
Convert is up. Convert is good. That makes the score. The Langley Rams 10. The Westshore Rebels no score.
Yeah, that was Max's 4th touchdown on the year.
Max Joseph, and as we see with him switching from a receiver to a running back, wouldn't be surprised that even with a few more games left, if Joseph gets higher up in the rushing leaderboard for the BCFC.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, if they're going to play him in that position, that's definitely going to happen because he's too good of an athlete to sort of just to stay in one spot. You got to move around, and the only way you can get a guy the ball all the time, either is he's a quarterback or he's a running back.
Great start here for the Rams. Big play there, extending their lead to 10 in a big game against the Westshore Rebels. 10-0, the Langley Rams leading the Westshore Rebels with 10:52 left in the second quarter.
Now the Rebels they got the feel. They got your first quarters done. You've had success moving the ball. You've created some turnovers. Now you just got to get into a rhythm and start making plays.
Penalty flags on the play, likely an illegal block or a hold on the play against the Rebels, and they will be deep in their own territory as number 80 had the return on there. I think that's Nathan Felicio on the return, but I believe will be coming back. Felito, sorry, on the play.
Yeah, I think number 25, Ronan Silver, had a legal block in the back, and that's what the deep official, Hans Vanderdoe, called. That's what he saw, as he said. So that's going to push the Rebels back to around half the distance, basically. So it's going to put them on maybe around their 12-yard line.
Oh, it looks like an unnecessary roughness, too.
Oh, hello.
Unnecessary roughness. Maybe a face mask on the play. We'll see. We've got the mic on here. Calling it a clip, unnecessary roughness clip, and a 15-yard penalty. That drives the ball deep in the Rebel territory.
That puts the ball in the 5. That's an interesting call, but I guess any block from behind. I didn't think he got him on a clip, but
I didn't think so either. I thought right away I said, look, probably a legal block might have hit him in the back, but I didn't see necessarily a clip on the play.
Yeah.
McKinnon, play action, holds the ball himself. Well played by the Rams defensive line. McKinnon going nowhere as he held the ball and tried to go off the left-hand side to no avail for the Rebels.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at that play because it's, sort of hand off, in my opinion, just hand the ball off, let your running backs pick up a few yards, because if you have to punt the football into this wind, you're probably going to give up the safety. So try to get as much yardage as you can, but there was no gain at all.
No gain, as you said, Paul. 2nd and 10 for the Rebels, deep in their own territory. 10 minutes left. His clock is ticking here at West Hills. Big play here as the Rebels need to get out of their own shadows of their own goalposts. McKinnon in the shotgun. A little surprised they're not going back to the run with Kane Stevenson like they did in the first quarter, but now in the shotgun, McKinnon drops back. Looks under pressure again, sacked on the play, as there will be a safety by number 99 as the Rams extend their lead to 12-0.
Now just push off the edge, get upfield.
That was Charles Nwoye for the Rams, the big sack, playing in his first game. Actually came late to the Rams this season from the University of British Columbia.
Oh, is that right?
And the Rams are quite high on him, and actually think he's a big part. I saw him earlier in the game. Big man, looked to be a physical specimen as well. Big addition for the Rams on their front defensive line. That makes the score now 12-0 for the Langley Rams as they extend their lead over the Westshore Rebels. Once again, thank you for joining us. Today's broadcast presented by Treeland Remax Langley. So thank you for joining us. Great day for football. Great day to bring your Chihuahua to the park.
Oh, no kidding. This is
I haven't seen any Chihuahuas yet. But
no, but I think if you are bringing them, you should have that little, they wear sweaters, most of them, put a little weighted sweater on them to keep them on the ground because it is windy.
The wind, they might blow away. It might be quite scary. And we haven't seen any of those fly by us yet either today.
That's true, because when there's Chihuahuas around, there's more eagles flying around too. So
Rebels will kick off now as the Rams elect to receive there. Should get decent field position. Can't see who's on the return there. It might have been
J.J. Jackson, number
J.J. Jackson, 17. Good eyes, Paul, as he got good return on the play. And they Rams will scrimmage close to their own 40-yard line as they get good field position after the safety.
Oh, this is an important series now for the Rebels, in my opinion, is, you're down 12-0. You got to keep the Rams off the scoreboard here. You don't want to go down 19 as we're getting close to halftime. And because it takes that momentum away that you're trying to achieve. And also it messes with the mind when it comes to, the confidence part of the game as well.
Slight delay here as they set the sticks. 1st and 10 Rams on their own, we'll call it 39-yard line. Little still under center. Trying to see who is in the backfield. Isn't Joe Carter or Max Joseph, but we'll get a number. Little barks the signals. Hands the ball off to the left side. No gain on the play, maybe even a loss of 1 or 2 on the play as the Rebel defensive front made a good surge there, holding the Rams to probably a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, that was number 25, DaCosta. And that's the first time he's carried the ball today.
Devin DaCosta, no gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Clock ticking under 9 minutes here. Little still under center, still waiting to see a shot down the field potentially here, but very conservative start. But I guess when your defense is playing good, you can do that. Little drops back, trying to take a shot here, breaks away, it's flushed out to his right, now throws back. Ball was intercepted on a play by Cody Holmes. Brought down on the play, flags all over the field. This one might be an illegal contact against the Rebels or potentially a pass interference, but Cody Holmes, as of right now, has a big interception for the Rebels.
And the sticks move, so that kind of messes stuff up.
Yeah, Little was forced out to his right, then kind of threw back across his body, looking for Javon Catoy.
And that was illegal contact versus Catoy, so that's going to be declined, and Cody Holmes has his 2nd interception of the game.
Didn't see what Catoy did on that particular one, but maybe a push-off.
Yeah, I would think that's, yeah.
And looks to be, I'm trying to see, there is an injured Rebel on the play. Looks to be number 25, Ronan Silver, injured on the play. But a big play by Cody Holmes and the Rebel defense gives them good field position here as they look to get on the board and cut into this Ram lead.
Well, it was another one of those passes that I think that Duncan should have held on to because he kind of forced it in there, but Holmes is right in position, and that's got to be frustrating for Catoy as well because he's been targeted a couple times, and at least 2 of them for sure. We know that Cody Holmes has taken it away from him.
Ronan Silver back to his feet. That's a good sign for Ronan and the Rebels. Duncan Little coming in currently as the leading passer in the BCFC, although many people are looking at different statistics different ways and reveling the season that Julian Winnick has had in Valley as he's turned some heads with that program.
He sure has. I've always picked the guy that has the most passing yards as the top passer in the league, but that's just me.
Rebels take over in Ram territory. McKinnon in the shotgun. Looks to be throwing. Quick throw out. Kane Stevenson catches the ball, cuts inside to his left, makes 1-man miss, now 2-man miss. Finally snowed under and dropped down. Minimal gain, but Kane Stevenson really did all that work by pretty much himself on that particular play.
Absolutely, and it's just one of those things you can see. You make people miss, and so many things, good things can happen once you make that first guy miss. And the Ram defender there, number 31, I was quite surprised that he overran the play, didn't break down anymore, JP Kabambe. But again, a good athlete makes things happen, and that's what Kane Stevenson is able to been doing this year for the Rebels.
Gain of 4 on the play after Stevenson's good work. 2nd and 6 Rebels on the Rams' 49-yard line. McKinnon in the shotgun again. Swings it out this time. Caught on the play by, waiting to see who that was.
Provo.
Is it Provo, number 15, swarming in there.
Refuses to go down.
Refused to go down as he was trying to make his way to the first down yard marker. He's going to be short on the play, but we'll see what the infraction is on the replay. Couldn't tell, maybe a face mask in that scrum.
Yeah, came
Hard
in
to
late
tell.
from behind, so I'm not sure.
Good catch by Provo as he had caught it with one hand. And then the rugby scrum ensued before the flag hit the floor.
Yeah,
Looks to be against the Rams.
And where the Rams are walking, I guess it is unnecessary roughness.
Face mask it is. In scrums like that, you know, that's probably the likely call, and it is a face mask against the Rams. Big 15-yard penalty for the Rams to take, giving the Rebels great field position as they now drive the ball down to about the 30-yard line here in the Ram territory.
Yeah, they said the penalties against number 32, but I don't see a 32 on the roster. But a lot of hands and in on tackles, so they're going to be trying to figure out whose hands on what number.
McKinnon in a shotgun blitz coming, takes a hit, throws the ball up in the direction of Kane Stevenson. Wind held that one up. Stevenson was looking over his right shoulder, and the ball fell to the turf over his left shoulder. That kind of seemingly got hung up in the air.
Isaiah Coyle came zipping through very, very quickly in that one and put the pressure on. I think that's what made the ball sail a little bit, because I don't think Ashton could get his front foot forward to make that ball come down. But throwing in the wind's difficult.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised the Rebels aren't going back to that, like I say, the running that they had success in the early in the first quarter. Just handing the ball up to Kane Stevenson in the I formation. Yeah,
but I think the score also dictates a little bit of your change in your offensive thinking.
So 2nd and 10, Rebels. Likely maybe in a 3-down situation here. A tough field goal into this breeze. McKinnon in the shotgun. Blitz looks to be coming off the side. McKinnon fumbles the ball, lucky to get back on that one. The Rams brought 2 guys off the right-hand side, the Rebels left, and McKinnon was lucky to get on top of that ball after a loss on the play.
Yeah, I think it looked like it. What I saw was off the hip of the running back here, and just lost the ball. I think you can see it. He just dropped it. Yeah, just didn't get a good handle on it when you had it after the fake.
Rams had the pressure come in from their right. They get the sack, although not the conventional way. Now all of a sudden it will be 3rd and we'll call it 13 on the play.
Yeah, and it looks like McKinnon's back in for the punt. Joel Klassen deep for the Rams. It's important for him to secure this football.
Whoa, high snap. McKinnon, good job. Pooches the kick down in the direction of Joel Klassen around his own 10-yard line. No yards on the play against the Rebels. Klassen, good return. Breaks into the open field. 1 man to beat. Flags are all over the field. That's going to be no yards. Rebels trying to track Klassen down. Finally runs out of gas at the Rebel 38-yard line. Great return by Joel Klassen on the play, and barring the penalty, which we think is no yards, this play should stand for the Rams.
Well, it's interesting. Sometimes when you see a flag go down, you kind of slow down a little bit. And I think when they saw the flag, everybody kind of stopped. But Klassen just said, "No, I'm not stopping. I'm running." And he just caught guys sleeping.
Was no yards against the Rebels. That will be a big play again for the Rams special teams, giving them great field position as Rebels looked in that sequence to be able to pin the Rams deep. Now all of a sudden the Rams are scrimmaging 1st and 10 on the Rebel 38-yard line.
It's special teams, They just can change a game in a blink of an eye, and we've seen it on exchanges on the interceptions as well.
First and 10 Rams, Little still in the shotgun. Joseph hands the ball off to the right. Good stuff there, going nowhere. Joseph bounces off back, now trying to get to the left. Tries to round the corner, does get positive yards before he's finally banged out of bounds in front of the Rebels bench. Joseph making something out of nothing for the Rams, and there is an injured Ram on the play.
That was a really good run. And when he changed his position, he used his hands to deflect the potential tacklers. Kane Stevenson came upon him, and he just brushed his hands away and picked up, it's a good 7-yard run. And he should have been tackled 2 yards in the backfield.
Injury on the play to the Rams as we have a brief moment. Once again, thank you for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Treeland Remax Langley. Beautiful day for football. I was a little nervous coming over, and then even with last night, we had some good rain and wind on the mainland, and I thought, boy, what are we going to expect here? But so far, so good, and looks to be no rain should be coming, but maybe just a little bit of wind to deal with.
Oh, okay, you guys, I didn't realize you guys got all that weather like that last night. We were kind of calm over here.
2 other games in the BCFC. A big one tonight in the Apple Bowl in Kelowna at 7 o'clock. The Valley Huskers, who are coming in at 4-2. Currently, I guess, in first place as they defeated the Raiders. They will be battling with the Okanagan Sun, who seem to have turned the ship around a little bit there as they got a big victory over the Raiders last week. So that's a big game up at the Apple Bowl. I think if you're sitting at home on a Saturday night, that's a great one to tune in and have a look at.
Well, it's one of those ones that it's important for the Huskers, because most of their games the rest of the way, other than the one game against the Rebels, they're all on the road. So it's very difficult to win on the road in this league. And depending on the outcome of this game, they could see themselves on the outside of the playoffs. And I went down on record earlier saying that I don't think the Huskers will make the playoffs, mainly based on this tail end of the schedule. And they've got to win in Kelowna, or they've got to beat the Rebels twice, because if the Rams win today, the Rams already hold the tiebreaker over the Huskers. So that's going to push the Huskers a little bit deeper into the standings. And if the Sun win tonight, yeah, you might see a different makeup next week as the standings come out, and it'll be a lot more clear based on who's playing who next weekend.
Toss to Joseph off the right side, does scamper for a first down as it was 2nd and 4 for the Rams. Joseph scampers on the toss, gets probably about 10 on the play, and enough for a Langley first down.
Yeah, just basic football. Just pitch the football, get outside. We're in an I formation. Follow your fullback. They're not even pulling anybody. They're doing a little bit of zone blocking, but they're getting the edge, right? They're able to turn that outside guy in and to get the edge on the defense.
Now 1st and 10, Rams look to add to their lead in Rebel territory at about the 25-yard line, a little under center. Looking at what he sees, I formation, Joseph behind him. Marks the signals, pressure looks to be coming from the Rebels. Hands the ball off to Joseph right at the middle, lowers his head like a bowling ball and tries to get about 3. But he can, he probably gets about a yard or 2, as the Rebels did a good job stuffing the run there.
Yeah, I think he was trying to change the play for, take so long to snap the football. He might have been trying to change the play and just didn't get out the communication across to everybody.
Also tonight in the BCFC schedule, the Vancouver Island Raiders make the trip up to Coquihalla and head to Kamloops and Hillside Stadium to face the Broncos. Raiders look to get back on track after a bit of a blip in their game on last weekend at the Apple Bowl, and we'll see how that one goes. That one's 6 o'clock tonight.
Well, hopefully their bus makes it this time.
Hopefully the bus does make it this time. Little now, 2nd and we'll call it 9. Flushed out, pressure coming, brought down on the play as the Rebel came from the backside. Little didn't see him until the last minute. He was lucky on the play that he didn't force a turnover on that particular play, as the Rebel defense steps up with a big play, pushing the Rams back.
Yeah, you can see in the replay, number 33, Jason Piper, the block by the fullback, he whiffed at him, and it just, nowhere to go. Your clock is ticking in your head, and it goes 1-2, run tackle.
Big play by the Rebel defense, pushing the Rams back. They still will try the field goal now, though. It's about probably a 38-yarder on the play.
Yeah, they tried one. Oh, sorry, the Rebels tried one from this exact spot that had blocked to push up the middle.
Dangerous returner, Holmes deep in case it is missed. The Rams will have to get down and cover this. Snap is good, hold it down, kick is up, kick is wide to the right. Holmes looks to be bringing it out, be careful. Tries to get the corner, cuts. Good downfield coverage by the Rams, minimizing the return. It's going to be a single point for the Langley Rams, making the score 13-0 over the Westshore Rebels, as missed field goal does generate the old rouge for the Rams.
Yeah, that's a term you haven't heard in a long time, the rouge.
The old rouge, which obviously makes Canadian football what it is, and our American counterparts can't understand why we reward a miss.
Why not?
Why not? We're Canadians. We always do that kind of stuff. We're good people.
We give everybody participation ribbons as well. So.
Rams extend their lead now 13-0. Yeah, definitely join us as we hit the 3-minute warning. If you are around, join us for those 2 games tonight on the schedule. Like I say, should be 2 good football games. Raiders, I know it's a tough trip going from Nanaimo up to Kamloops, so you never know in any given week. And of course, the big one at the Apple Bowl should be a dandy.
Yeah, that should be a very good game. Sun are hurting. They got a couple guys out, but they do have some very good football players on that team. And I think everybody was at the beginning of the year was picking the Sun to represent BC in the national finals, but other teams have to play you, and you got to make sure you beat the other teams.
Kane Stevenson off the left side, bounces, good flow by the Rams defense. Stevenson does get positive yards, probably about 4 or 5 on the play as Kane Stevenson showed his speed off the left-hand side.
Yeah, again, just a good athlete, just making people miss, and you get some good blocks, you get into the next level, and good things happen.
And Nick Daly, the standout defensive lineman for the Okanagan Sun, likely still out for a couple more weeks. I know they're eager to get him back in the lineup as he was having an amazing season to start with the sacks and the pressures for the Okanagan Sun defensive line.
Yeah, well, I think he had 8 sacks before he went down. He's been down a couple games already.
Flags on the play. McKinnon drops back to throw, looking in the direction of Felito. Ball is incomplete. I think this is going to be offside against the Rebels receiver on the play, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway, I think, as he hit the line early, but we'll wait for the call by the referees. Rebel receiver looked to have jumped early from my vantage point, but these eyes are old, so you never know.
I kind of agree with you, but yeah, sometimes these officials kind of keep everybody guessing to begin with.
Looks like the punt team is coming out for the Rebels, which should show the infraction probably against, there it is, offside. And it wasn't offside, so it was a receiver. So offside by the Rebel receiver. Rams will decline that one, and they will get the ball back. Third down. Bit of a clock adjustment here at West Hills. Rams look to be getting should get good field position here as McKinnon is back deep looking to punt the ball and hopefully boom one, but it's tough in this.
It's really picked up the wind now.
McKinnon needs to have a good boot here as it'll be 3rd and 6 on the play. Kicks the ball to the left. The ball really holds up. Wow, look at that thing. Just dies all of a sudden. Now the Rams are lucky to jump on it as it looked like it was going to hit one of the blockers in the back of the foot. But flags on the play will be no yards, and the Rams will scrimmage on the other side of midfield in Rebel territory.
Yeah, the wind really held that up. And McKinnon's pretty smart. He went after that ball right away, and
it was amazing on that one that he was not even trying to pound the ball up in the air. He was just trying to pooch that, kind of like trying to hit a golf ball. Don't hit it in the wind, just hit the line drive. And even that line drive attempted kick by McKinnon just got held right up.
They still called no yard, so McKinnon was on top of the football pretty quick, but somebody else must have been in the restraining zone. Be 5-yard penalty, I guess. Oh, they're picking it up.
So McKinnon was the one. Referees declare that Ashton McKinnon was the only Rebel within the 5-yard territory, so they will pick that one up as he is allowed to be there. Still good field position for the Rams. No 5-yard penalty on the play, but as it was Ashton McKinnon, but they do scrimmage just shy of midfield on their own side, looking to add to their lead with just over 2:20 left in the first half. Little under center, short drop, throws, good throw, good catch, incomplete on the play. Ball was dropped by number 80, is it 86 or 88?
88.
Number 88, I thought Little threw a great ball. It was low, exactly where you wanted to throw it, where only your guy's going to catch it, but it wasn't able to be completed for a first down.
Yeah, just right through his hands, I guess. I thought he had it for sure. It was low passes. I was kind of surprised they threw there.
Yeah, I thought they'd stick with the run too, especially with Joseph cracking off a couple big ones. Blitz looks to be coming again. Hands the ball off to Joseph. Nowhere to go as number 44 grabs him in the backfield for a loss of probably about 3 or 4 on the play. And the Rams now will have to kick on 3rd down as they couldn't do anything with the good field position.
Rosenko made that play. He's a good linebacker. He just steady back there. He's not one of those guys that's too flashy, but he just makes plays. That was an important stop. At the end of the day, the Rebels are going to get this football back. And they still have 2 minutes and 10 seconds to work with there in the first half to try to get some points on the board.
Lots of time for the Rebels. They got 2 returners deep. Trying to generate a return here. Rams will be punting. The ball will be at their own 50 as now we probably look to have a timeout on the play.
Yeah, Rams called timeout.
Rams called a timeout. Looking to see which official is calling it. Once again, thank you for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley. Thank you all season for joining us. We love doing these games and love being here at West Hill Stadium. Great facility here. I was talking earlier before the game with Rebel President Rob Lervold about the upcoming changes to the park and what we get to look forward to. It sounds like in 2019 with a lot of renovations to a beautiful facility already.
Yeah, they've been talking about this for quite a while, and I guess now everything's starting to fall into place, and they're generating in fundraising to make it happen. And first thing they got to do is they got to move the high tension wires to the other side of the street, on the opposite side of the field from where we are. Once they do that, then I understand they're going to put a brand new stands over there that'll mirror these ones that'll be covered, and it's going to increase the capacity. I think up about 3,500, which would be ideal. You could host the BC Lions here for training camp, but Canadian Rugby owns this field basically. This is their home shot, so you want to get as many people in, because when rugby's here, this place is packed.
Snap is good, kick is up, and again, line drive kick, trying to keep it out of the gust of the wind. Brought down here, cuts to his right, or cuts to his left, now back to his right. Good downfield coverage by the Ram special team plays, minimizing the return. Can't make out a number in front of all those red jerseys over there.
Yeah, I think it
might
was
have been Provo. Was it Provo? Or?
No, number 16, Assad Sharif.
Sorry, I thought it was a
that,
15, but it was number 16 on the play with the return. Good downfield coverage for the Rams. The Rebels still have lots of time here with just under 2 minutes left, and decent field position at their own 30-yard, just 29-yard line here, hopefully to try and get some points before the end of the first half.
Well, at least, you're going to move the football. You don't want to kick here. That's the thing, is you got to do some things within this drive, so you hold on to the football, and if you have to give it up, you're going to give it up a little bit deeper in the Rams' end. You don't want to do anything here that's going to put you in second and third down on passes that are going to stop the clock as well.
McKinnon, quick throw, looks out to Kane Stevenson, does bring it down. Good fill on the play by the Ram defender, holding the game to maybe nothing or a loss on the play as they tried to just swing it out to Kane Stevenson and try and see if they could make some positive yards that way. But great play by the Ram defender.
That was a tremendous tackle by number 3. That I'm going to get his name right here, Baljet Denoya. Great tackle. You could wrap him up and put him on the ground.
Yeah, he had played that perfectly as he waited till the ball was in the air and then came up, broke down, made a great tackle on a fantastic player who's known to break a few tackles in most games.
And I think, that's what you see a lot of when you're watching football, that first guy misses. But that on that last play, he certainly did not miss.
McKinnon looks to be throwing here. Pressure comes from the Rams as it gets collapsed. Under pressure, breaky free is McKinnon, though, showing his strength, now trying to run. It's going to be short of the first down, positive yards on the play, as he looked to scoot away from the Rams defense, but does get positive yards, but not enough for a first down.
Yeah, he just ran out of time. You're looking to throw, and you break. If you're not going to get the ball away, you got to get going, get on your horse, and he did there, and luckily enough, he was able to break away, but again, like Tyler said, he came up short for the first down. Rebels going to have to punt the football.
Injury on the play for the Rams as we get a stoppage. It looks to be
99.
Number 99.
Yeah, Charles Noye in.
Big addition for the Langley Rams as they short up their defensive line. To complement Sky King, who's had a fantastic season for them.
Yeah, no kidding. And that time of year is coming where you're going to be running the ball a lot more, so your D linemen become huge on the defensive schemes.
Looks to be coming to his feet shortly. Can't tell what they're working on. Maybe a hip or something, or a hand?
Yeah, something in the midsection looks like.
Or an elbow.
Or an elbow maybe, elbow, like, yeah.
I didn't think it was any, thought it was either a hip or it wasn't a knee or anything, but as he looks to be getting to his feet here. Once again, if you're around tonight, definitely tune in and join us for 2 very good football games. Of course, what else? There have big playoff implications, as we've talked about since the outset. Big one in Kelowna, the Apple Bowl, should be a great football game between the Valley Huskers and the Okanagan Sun. Yeah. The Huskers upset the Sun earlier in the season, so you can bet the Sun will want to return the favor on home soil.
And with Luke's back now at quarterback for the Sun, they could get a little bit of more stability.
Yeah, I was up at the Apple Bowl last week, and he was. It was a noticeable change as he threw the ball very well and also ran the ball pretty well too, and that's something that the Sun I know we're welcome to see, and had a lot of success at the CIS level, and they're happy to have him back throwing the ball for them. Rebels will be punting. McKinnon tries to just pooch one down. Not much on the yards, but again, it holds up in the air. No flags on the play, as that will be if the Ram gets underneath it. The good downfield coverage by the Rebels. I think that was Nick Aguilanetto with the return, but minimal at that.
Yeah, just good coverage by the Rebels. Again, a good punt. The wind held the ball up a little bit, so it allowed the coverage team to get underneath it.
These punts, the old yardages aren't taking a bit of a beating tonight on the averages.
That's true, yeah.
As he just can't get, once the ball gets up there, they're just not getting any traction, and definitely not punting the ball high. That's definitely a recipe for disaster. Good field position for the Rams. They look to get some points before the end of the half, just under a minute left. They will be scrimmaging from their own 51-yard line, little under center, 2 backs. Joseph is one behind him. Looks to be throwing. Hit on the play. Is that a fumble or incomplete? They are calling it a fumble on the play. Rams, the offensive line, lucky to get on that. A fumble on the play, but the Rams were able to scrimmage, and now there's an injury on the play. It's Duncan Little.
I think that's Little was down. You can see in the replay here.
He took a shot.
And didn't see who came off the edge of the top end, but just put a hit on him. That was, again, Piper. Jason Piper hit him again. And
he came untouched off the Rebel right-hand side, Ram left-hand side, and got a big hit on Duncan Little. And this will be an area of concern for the Rams as Little's down on the turf.
Yeah, it definitely hurt his arm.
That's looking at the replay when we saw it. It might have been like where his throwing arm was up because the ball kind of scooted free, and we had to wait to see what the officials were actually going to call if it was a incomplete pass. But obviously they deemed his arm wasn't coming forward. They're declaring it a fumble. Nice to see the Rebels showing down on one knee, showing their support as Little gets attended to. Rams, of course, doing the same thing for him. We hope he's okay as they look to be looking at his right arm.
Not sure who their backup quarterback is. We don't have, he's sitting up, but they're going to have a backup quarterback in here for second down.
Seems to be kind of just shaking that right arm free as he makes his way to the sideline. Hopefully we'll see Duncan back soon as he is a big part of the Rams offense.
Well, he's moving the arm, so that's a good sign.
I'll try and see who. I think it's number 13, is it? Tristan Yatsu. Tristan Yatsu, I believe, is in their quarterback.
He hasn't had many snaps this year, that's for sure.
Former Seattle Seahawk is where he played his high school football. Toss out to the right-hand side. Bad toss. Joseph trying to get on it. Loss on the play as Joseph is going backwards. Again, probably a case of not having a whole lot of reps, and the toss eluded Joseph. That's a big loss yet again for the Rams as they go backwards here with 35 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, he just pitched it too far in front of him, and he couldn't get his handle on it. And the Rebels had good coverage coming across the line of scrimmage and had made him turn back. Might have been better going the other way and pick up a few more yards, but clock's in your favor. 34 seconds left to punt the ball. Let your defense come out, hold the Rebels down, go into halftime with the lead.
Assuming no timeouts on the play, or the Rebels would have likely used one there. As the clock ticks under 30 seconds here, Rams will be punting from deep in their own territory. Kick is up. Better kick considering. Now camped underneath around the 40 or 50-yard line, picked up there. Coming back to his left, is that Cody Holmes or Provo on the return? Is it 16 again?
Yeah, 16.
Get in the 15s and the 16s.
Yes.
12 seconds left. Couple plays probably, but good downfield coverage by the Rams. Decent kick there into the wind as the ball scooted along the ground, and the Rebels weren't able to make a whole lot of yardage there on the punt.
Yeah, it was good coverage. He got the ball high enough where a coverage team can get underneath it and, give you some support.
See what the Rebels have here. Probably one, maybe two plays here, likely in the first half. Haven't seen a whole lot of Deshaun Greenaway yet. They haven't thrown the ball really in his direction. But he is outflanked out to the left here. McKinnon in the shotgun.
It looks like another offside.
Flag on the play on the far side of the field. McKinnon dropped down for no gain on the play, maybe even a loss if we have flags on the play.
Yeah, I think the inside slot on the top part of on the right-hand side of the Rebels offense was offside on that one. And again, just
too many men.
Is that what they called?
It looked like I saw the original too many men call against the Rams. Don't know if there was two infractions on the play. We'll see what they come.
Yeah, I think they do have 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. Yeah.
20. How many guys do they have? 13 on the field there, or is it just a legal substitution?
A legal substitution. Should
be a 10-yard penalty against the Rams. maybe came on when the gates were closed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought for sure the slot back was offside, but that's why we're up here and they're down there, I guess.
Exactly. This should be the final play, barring a penalty of the first half. Rebels will be scrimmaging right around midfield. McKinnon might heave one up here and see if we can get in the direction of Greenaway, which should not be a bad. It does go down, and Keane Stevenson. Ball is intercepted by number 34 and dropped down immediately though, but tried to throw one up to Kane Stevenson, but the Rams defense was able to intercept that on the final play of the first half.
Yeah, again, Nathan Murray got that interception. Now he just out-jumped the guys. But again, the long pass, the ball's going to hold up because of the wind, and that's what happened there, and let Murray just get underneath it for the interception.
So the score at the end of the first half, the Langley Rams 13, the Westshore Rebels 0, as the home team can't get on the board in front of the home fans. Bit of a cautious start, as we mentioned a couple times, a little bit of retro football with a lot of the I formation and under center. I think the Rebels offensively are probably going to be trying to feel their way out a little bit, still likely trying to get the new systems down pat, new quarterback, and so forth. And I think not having Mason Brown and Khalil James, I think you're seeing the side effects of that for the Rebels, the offense in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. You're playing guys two ways with Holmes and Stevenson going two ways. That tires you out because you're playing defensive back and you're going to be doing a lot of running back there. But turnovers so far has been the name of the game, and all the interceptions came into the wind. So it's one of those things that they're going to try to solve that if this wind continues in the second half. And then the Rebels, they've got to protect McKinnon better, in my opinion. And if I'm the Rams, I'm handing the ball to Joseph more. In the second half, I'm going to come out and say, okay, Maximilian, run the ball, baby, because he's having good success with it right now.
Yeah, with Joe Carter coming back into the game after his injury, that's another workhorse. The Rams can obviously hand the ball off in the second half. What do you expect from them in the second half? Like we said, just hand the ball off and let the running game do its thing and get out of here hopefully with 2 points?
Yeah, I think that would be my way of thinking in the change room, but you still want to get your ball to your playmakers. Katoy needs the ball in his hands. He's one of the top leading receivers in the league. And if they can make that happen, you come out of here with a win. But on the Rebels side, they've got to solve the Rams defensive line. They've got to be able to protect McKinnon, and they got to get the ball to somebody that's going to have some success on a consistent basis. It doesn't have to be big, long runs, but just somebody's going to give you positive yards every time he touches the football, and that might be Kane Stevenson. He might be the feature guy all afternoon based on catching passes as well as having the ball in his hands from a standpoint of running the ball. So
yeah, he's their workhorse, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Rebels lean on him. Like I say, especially with the subtraction of Khalil James from the lineup. And even I think you see the difference too with, Mason Brown is a little bit more of a running quarterback than Ashton McKinnon, although Ashton can still run. But I know in week one when these two teams faced each other, Mason Brown's legs were the talk of the game as he scampered for many first downs, even while he was under immense pressure by the Rams defense.
Yes, and you might see that little bit of adjustment on the Rebels side the second half, getting McKinnon running, especially if the wind stays up, because he's not afraid to run, and he loves running, and he likes that contact of the game.
Once again, the score at the end of the first half, the Langley Rams 13, the Westshore Rebels no score. We will be back to join you in the second half. Once again, thank you for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Treeland Remax Langley. We thank you for joining us, and we will see you when the second half gets going.
There's a huge need for support for youth with mental health challenges. About 1 in 5 Canadians on any given day will be facing a mental health issue, and most of those experiences begin among teenagers and young adults. The Booster Buddy app project was incredibly important to us at Island Health. We have known for a long time that there was a need to provide help and assistance to people whenever they need it, wherever they are. Then we can help people get through moments of crisis, and we can help give them hope and a sense of ability that they can get through it. So young people who had mental health issues and their families, brought them all together in one room and asked them what they wanted to get from a mental health app. Most of the vision and the story and the look and feel were really driven by them. That's a tremendously valuable thing that happened with the Booster Buddy project. It wasn't something created in an academic silo, but it was really a grassroots movement that tapped into that lived experience. We were working with a young man with psychosis. He was really struggling and needing to come into emergency frequently because of the severity of his symptoms. I asked him if he would try the app to give me some feedback. When he opened it, his face lit up. And he said, wow, this is going to be a game. I asked him to use it for 2 weeks, and every day that week he would come by my office and tell me how the app had helped him. And he didn't visit the emergency those 2 weeks. I've had the privilege of hearing every day the impact it has on people's lives. That alone is astonishing.
This app kept me alive.
I'm 16 years old and struggling with mental illness. This app has really changed my life.
I wanted to let you know that I was in deep depression last year, but Booster Buddy helped me crawl out.
It's silly, but I actually cried the first time using the app.
With everything in me, I thank you. Thank you once again for saving my life.
I'd hoped that a few hundred people would install Booster Buddy here in Victoria, but since then we've had over 80,000 people use the app from countries all over the world, and they are saying that it's saving their lives. It's an astonishing experience to be able to have that kind of impact, and I want to thank Coast Capital Savings for allowing me to be a part of that and allowing Island Health to reach so many people all over the world.
My name is Chris Gress, and I am the brewmaster and partner in Red Arrow Brewing. We opened in June of last year, so we've just passed our first fiscal year. It's a pretty exciting and fun time for craft beer in BC in general, and we're very excited to be, the first microbrewery in the Cowichan Valley. We didn't really want to do things the way that most other breweries or a lot of other breweries like to do them, so we really kind of stuck with some of our ideas of some of the beer styles and our original arrangement of beers, and some of them have worked very well and some of them needed a little bit of tweaking, but overall I think it's really kind of paying off for us to kind of do things our own way in the marketing side and specifically the merchandising side. A lot of people say that our merchandising program is beyond what is really kind of expected for a brewery, but this is a really significant part of our business that we're very proud of. Well, we're open 7 days a week, and people can come in and get a tour. They can pick up some merchandising or read about local craft industry or learn a little bit about the area. Growler fills, we do just an extraordinary amount of growler fills. We invite food trucks in over the summer, and now we're running our own food truck Wednesday to Sunday, and we're just going to start incorporating that with different events in the valley and tourism. We have a local celebrity, if you will, Dan Hudson, who's joined us to put up some pretty exciting products from the food truck. He's a great chef. He's been on some national TV programs, Top Chef Canada and Chopped, I believe. Just a treat to work with another person that's just so passionate about the things that they do and the things that they create, and it just shows in the product that comes out. I really enjoy what I do, and we're really fortunate to have the people involved that we have involved, and I believe I've said already, it's a pretty exciting time for craft beer industry in BC and tourism in the valley.
Capital's role is we're the tour sponsor of the Canadian Cancer Society's Cops for Cancer tour. It's a cause that's really important to a lot of our staff. I mean, who hasn't been touched by cancer?
I've had a lot of family members affected by cancer. Knowing that all that I watched my family members go through when they fought this disease, you would never ever want a child to have to face that.
This is an opportunity that we can work towards a cause to make the lives of kids who are suffering from cancer just a little bit better, even for a short period of time, by sending them to camp.
Camp Good Times is one of the most amazing parts of being a Cops for Cancer rider.
Every single year, the tour actually gets the opportunity to go to camp, and it is a magical place.
I would just say, after you spend time at Camp Good Times, two things change forever. Your definition of what is courage is never the same, and your definition of I've had a bad day is never ever the same. And every time you're climbing a tough hill, you know this is really nothing compared to what the children and their families go through.
And that's what helps me. I just think of the battle they have to battle, and it's really not comparable.
Coast Capital's promise is to build a richer future for youth. That's why this particular campaign is such a good fit for us.
Having Coast Capital involved is so helpful, and just having a good, consistent, strong sponsor allows you to be a much bigger help for families.
Our staff do an amazing job of spearheading some excellent fundraising campaigns, and they're just extremely passionate about this cause. These kids are going through so much, and what a better opportunity to sort of help them through that journey that they're going on and build a better future for them.
Welcome back to West Hill Stadium in Langford here. As we get set for the second half kickoff, once again the score of the Langley Rams 13, the Westshore Rebels no score as we get set for the second half. Good first half, lots of running, lots of big plays. Max Joseph had a great first half. I don't know if we have any numbers, Paul, for excuse me, any of the rushing statistics? Or?
No, I didn't get anything from the statisticians. They're down there. I think it looks like they're having hamburgers or something.
They were dodging us. They knew we'd want some information probably.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to calculate it after the game. Tough to do it during the game. But I got some scoring. Rams, well, they're up 13-0. They kicked a 25-yard field goal to open the scoring in the first quarter, and that was the only scoring in the first quarter. The Rebels had an opportunity when Cody Holmes returned an interception. It was about 70 yards. That was an opportunity missed, but Rams came back in the second quarter and scored on a long run, about a 90-yard run, 88-yard run by Maximilian Joseph, and with the convert put them up 10-0. And then the Rebels gave up a safety in the second quarter, and there was a single on a missed field goal that make your score 13-0 as it is right now.
One of the things we'll watch as the Rams look to be receiving on this the second half kickoff is Duncan Little. Hopefully he will be able to return to the Langley Rams, as that would be a big loss to the offense if he's not able to return.
Well, it's interesting too here. I know that the Langley, I think, had the choice in the first half. They deferred probably second half choice, but They're going to go against the wind here in the third quarter, hoping that the wind stays up through the rest of the game. And the opportunity here for the Rebels to take advantage of the wind here in the third quarter.
So we're set to kick off. The Rebels will be kicking off from our left to our right. The Rams will be going from our right to our left as we look to get set here. I think it's Asher McKinnon. Ball falls off the tee as we see the flags continue to swirl here at West Hills. So we'll reset here as everybody gets back to their seats for the second half.
I find it interesting that Maximilian Joseph hasn't been on any of the kick return game for the Rams today. I'm not sure if they're going to try and wean him out of that, but he is one of the top, over the last 2 years, one of the top returners in the BCFC.
Big boot off the opening kickoff, goes right through the end zone. That will get the Rebels on the scoreboard. Not the way they probably expected to, but obviously with the wind at the back, Ashton McKinnon was able to blast the ball through the end zone, putting the Rebels on the score with the, once again, the familiar Rouge, and now makes the score the Langley Rams 13, the Westshore Rebels 1.
Oh, there's your, any chance at a...
But that's a good Rouge, though. Those Rouges are okay, because you're not celebrating a miss. So that's, I think that's the one that I think people won't have as big a problem with.
That's true.
Big boot there by McKinnon, though, to get it right through the end zone. No Ram was even able to get a hand on the ball.
So you still got the other quarterback in is Tristan Janssen, who's still in a quarterback, taking over for Duncan Little, who was injured.
I see him on the Rams sidelines. He's still in uniform, so we will watch to see what happens as they try and toss the ball to Joseph, but stopped on the play. Not sure if they didn't have the clock set, or
I'm not sure.
Don't see any flags on the play, so it might just be a case of excuse me, people getting a little anxious on the play.
Yeah, it wasn't signaled in, maybe.
Yeah, I see Duncan Little on the Rams sidelines. I don't see any. He's still in his uniform, so we'll watch to see what happens. But I think in these conditions, I think the Rams think that they can get this one home potentially with the running game, and Yansu handing the ball off to Joseph and Carter and the likes of them in the second half. I find the Rebels defense, I am teeing off on the run here to start the third quarter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yansu under center, hands the ball to Joseph off the right-hand side, cuts back straight up the middle. Good positive gain on first down, probably about gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, just an efficient run up the middle.
No.
Yeah, I can see that Duncan looks like he's got a little bit of ice on the elbow, maybe.
On his elbow, yeah. Doesn't look to have any like brace or anything like that, or a sling or anything on his shoulder, so might just be a case of a contusion or something on his elbow.
Yeah, a little bit of swelling maybe.
Toss again out to the left. Rebels trying to get Joseph good, sneaks through the hole. A great run by Max Joseph, scampering for a first down. I thought the Rebels were going to be able to stop that, but Joseph was able to find a crease, as we see it on the replay here, and get a Ram first down.
In and out blocking. They got a good block at the edge. You can see the right there, and then right there, Ronan Silver just got blocked out. He was the guy that was supposed to turn that inside, but there was no help coming because they also put a guard that took on the linebacker.
Javon Cotoy with a good, Javon Cotoy with a good block on the play as well, springing Joseph for a first down. First down, Rams on their own 51-yard line. Yaps is still the quarterback. Hands the ball off now. Joseph out the right side, trying to get some around the corner. Does. Good run again for Joseph on first downs. He probably picks up, I see flags on the far side field, but he probably picked up about 7 on the play.
Yeah, it was a good run. Just the speed to the edge is so important in junior football. If you get the edge, the field is so wide that you can continue on your angle and keep picking up yardage.
There looks to be an illegal block on the play for the Rams, as the Rebels will likely take that penalty, bringing up a 1st and 20.
Yeah, illegal block.
Number 88. First down repeated.
Yeah, it came right at the end of the play as well.
So it'll be 1st and 20 for the Rams. Rebels do get the single point on the first play of the second half. Now it'll be 1st and 20 Rams on their own 41-yard line. A little jet sweep off the right side to Aguilaneto, trying to get around the right corner, and does. Picks up some positive yards and finally brought down at about the 49-yard line as they ran a little jet sweep around the outside to Nick Aguilaneto.
Yeah, not a bad
little misdirection play there as they tried to fake the handoff to Joseph and came back with Eglinetto around the outside.
And just got news that from BC media person Blake Roberts that former Canadian Junior Football League Commissioner Don McDonald, who passed away earlier today, and he will be missed. He was one of the innovators in the Canadian Junior Football League, and ardent Saskatoon Hilltop supporter and promoter. A little screen pass there to Joseph, which set up quite nicely.
Wish all the best to his family on these difficult times. Our thoughts go out to them all. Big play there for the Rams as we get back to action here.
Yeah, that was a big play because after that illegal block penalty, that put them in 2nd and long, and they pick up that first down. And you're working against the winds died down a little bit, but it's still windy, quite windy on the field. You can see the flags going pretty good.
1st and 10, Rams at the Rebel 40-yard line. Yansu under center, Joseph behind him, hands the ball off, dive right up the middle to number 44 on the play. We'll get you a name on that one.
Dylan Custer.
Dylan Custer on the dive play, not much on the play. Maybe a yard as they try the old familiar dive. We're seeing a lot of this lead and dive and toss and I formation. It's a little retro, but you know what? I mean, it's with Joseph and the Ram offensive line, it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little play like that doesn't hurt because the last 4 or 5 plays have been all attacking the edge, so they might have been spread out a little bit and get an opportunity to pick up in the middle.
Rams offensive line is big, and they're also young, and they're very high on what they have there. A lot of the big boys, but young and definitely coachable, as I've been told. Yansu drops back, looks to throw, gets it up in the air to Katoy. Ball's tipped and finally intercepted by Cody Holmes. A little bit of a pinball action there, and he's dropped down right around his own, we'll call it about, looks hard to tell by the angle here, about 5 or 6 yard line. Yeah, that's a little pinball action. There are flags on the play though.
Yeah, it's a little bit, you practice that, the little tip drill at times. That was Katoy was intended on that pass, and Kane Stevens got his hand on it, and then Cody Holmes was able to secure the ball, and if that play stands, that's his 3rd interception today.
Looks to be a penalty against the Rebels on the play, so
that might have been roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer, Westshore number 19.
You are correct, Mr. Short. That is a roughing the passer against the Rebels, and taking away an interception from Cody Holmes and moving the Rams deep into Rebel territories. Now they will scrimmage at about the 25-yard line.
Those are the little things that have been on the Rebels behind all year. There's, you make a good play, but then there's a roughing the passer penalty or a roughing penalty, which turns the ball back to the other team.
1st and 10 Rams, toss out to the left. Joseph gets it, trying to find some room. Rebels do a good job there as Joseph tries to squirt and squirm for any yards, but brought down no gain probably on the play. As the Rebel defense played that one pretty well, and Joseph couldn't sneak through.
Yeah, I think the Rebels finally said, okay, enough of this stuff. We got to do something. And then just as you figure it out, then they come up with something different.
Yeah, no gain on the play there, though, but the Rams are threatening, looking to expand on their 12-point lead here. 10 minutes now left in the 3rd quarter. Wind still continuing to howl as Yansu in the offense looks to get into the end zone. Yansu in the shotgun, rolls to his right, throws to his right. Ball is caught by Javon Katoy, trying to break a tackle, dragging Rebel defenders. Brought down on the play, going to be well short of the 1st down. But Javon Katoy gets positive yards on 2nd down for the Rams.
This was a great catch. You see in the replay here, it's just like Katoy just caught it. You can see the ball coming to him, but the defender's right there and just knocked his elbow, but he was able to recover. That was a great catch.
Javon Katoy obviously spent some time in the PFC with the Calgary Colts. Big addition for the Rams this year, and like you said, he is a physical specimen out there, and lots of athleticism with him.
Well, he reminds me of Malcolm Williams, who played for the Rams for 3 or 4 years, who's now with the Toronto Argonauts. Long and lean and just a good athlete.
High snap, big trouble there for the Rams, and the Rebels were able to negate the field goal attempt. And now an injury on the play for the Rams. Looks like it might have been their holder, Nick Aglanetto, down on the play, and the Rebels will take over after a big special team play for the Rebel defense.
Yeah, high snap, and as Aglanetto's going for the ball, he got smoked in the back.
And even the kicker took a pretty big shot too on this particular play too. You'll see on the replay right there.
Yeah, and it looks like Aglanetto got a knee in the back just as the guys are going after the football. That knocks the wind out of you and, startles your system, and you're trying to figure out what the heck was that.
Fall is in the air, and playoff season is fast approaching. And obviously, our playoff season follows our Week 10 schedule. And this year, obviously, the BCFC gets to host the Ontario Football Conference, which that should be exciting. As I don't think Ontario. It's been some years since Ontario's been out to BC, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the last time they were out was 2004,
2000,
something like 2004 when Montreal came out. St. Leonard Cougars played in Kelowna.
I remember that game. Sunlayer played Edmonton in the Canadian Bowl, losing a tough game to the Huskies. Tossed by the Rebels out to Kane Stevenson, trying to get the corner. Not much on the play as the Rams kind of stretch that one out. Kane Stevenson looking for a hole but couldn't get there.
That was a good play by number 58 on the Langley Rams. That's Nick Soras that really just shut that down.
And the winner of that game, as BC and Ontario, when they play November 3rd, will be headed to the Prairies on November 17th for a matchup against the PFC champion.
Yeah, going to be probably in Saskatoon.
It'll be nice and chilly. It'll be nice and chilly out there in the middle of November.
Yeah, especially it's a week later. They moved everything back a week to allow more promotion of the game and a lot more time for the host team to get things organized.
Exciting stuff as the playoffs loom, and we've got a long way to go here, and including this game. McKinnon drops back, throws it. Kane Stevenson was looking around, didn't see where the ball was going, and didn't realize that the ball was over his head and fell harmlessly to the turf as McKinnon tried to hook up with Stevenson for a big play, but to no avail.
Yeah, but stuck in Stevenson's back pocket, I think it was number 21 from the Kyle Claret, who was stuck on his hip, and that pass wouldn't have been completed if it was on target. Kyle, last year's Rookie of the Year in the BCFC.
Yeah, I guess it's getting close to that time as well, with All-Stars and major awards season going to be coming upon us. Always an exciting time, and Kyle Claret is a heck of a player and actually beat out his teammate, but former Kamloops Bronco Max Joseph for the honor last season.
That's right, yes, yeah. And and this year's been the same as the standings. There hasn't been anybody that is just really standing out. There's some good athletes, some good football players, but nobody is taking it over. And Jamal Lyles did it with the Rebels, and Jeff Halverson did it with the Sun, and Sean Olsen with the Rams back in the day, that type of player. And we don't really have that. The closest we got, in my opinion, is Maximilian Joseph. Yeah. He's the guy that's doing everything. He's a kick returner, a receiver, a runner, and he's just a tremendous athlete. And he's probably the guy that, in my opinion, might be the front runner as the outstanding player in the conference.
Yeah, Max is having a good year and seems quite comfortable since moving into the running back position.
Yes, yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought he was standing next to him on the field. He's bigger than I thought. I've seen him play, but it's always been from a distance. But being able to stand out there with him, he's a little bit bigger than I thought for sure.
Flags on the play after a skirmish, after a short handoff to Joseph. Rams were scrimmaging around their own 25, 26-yard line. Joseph went ahead for minimal gain, and then the flags started coming. Likely a UR on somebody.
Yeah, one of the Rams came out of the pile without a helmet, so maybe a helmet was ripped off.
Unnecessary roughness against the Rebels. That's another 15-yard penalty, and Coach Beattie won't like that one.
No, I think he's hot already because the guys aren't playing that well, and you do this type of stuff, he gets pretty upset with that.
Unnecessary roughness, Westshore, number 19.
Number 19 on the play for the Rebels with the unnecessary roughness.
That's his second penalty, a UR today.
Jameel Moore-Williams, also from the University of British Columbia last year, joined the Rebels this year. Big penalty there, and the Rams will move the ball, getting out of their own end. Now will be 1st and 10 on their own 45 45-yard line, 44-yard line.
Yeah, that is a big penalty because you're working against the wind and you're just giving them all this extra yardage. And then you get the ball back later on. You got give them the win, and you're not doing anything positive with any of it.
Joseph hands the ball off, or he gets the ball off the left-hand side. Once again, positive yards, 4 or 5 on the play. Keep thinking the Rebels are going to be crowding the box a lot more than they are, trying to make sure they stop the running game and force the Rams to pass. But
well, I think they are. They're trying. I think that's what they're sort of trying to do. But I think Joseph is so quick to the edge that they're not getting anybody out there to contain him. And then the Rams are doing this up the middle stuff that's just keeping everybody honest.
Toss to the right again to Joseph. Well played, brought down in the backfield for a loss on the play. Very, very well played on the play. Can't get a number quite. Looks like number 9.
Number 9, Leonardo Ingram he got across the into the backfield pretty quick here. You can see on the replay he got across the line of scrimmage before the blockers could get there and
forced Joseph to pull up a little bit there. That will bring up a 3rd down, and the Rams will be punting on the play. Again, the Rebels just seemingly needing a big play here to get some momentum going and cut this to a 1-score game. And maybe it's on a play like this or on a big return.
Oh yeah, this is where you got to start to dig it in. You only got to come down on 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Your time starts to run out.
Assad Sharif, almost blocked on the play. He does go down, but no flag on the play. I don't think should have been a flag.
No, there is a flag now.
Oh, now it did come down. Wow, that was a very late flag. See if we see it on our replay here. I don't think there was. It's going to be contact in the kicker, so that'll give
them a 1st down.
We'll see it on the replay here. Originally, no, he just got out of our screen, but we'll trust the referees on that particular play. And it's going to be a contact in the kicker variety. So that should. I can't tell whether the original spot was. Will I give him the 1st down?
I think that gives him the 1st down.
Well, I think he's going to be a little bit short. Yeah, 3rd. So it's going to be 3rd and short.
3rd, real short. It's going to be less than a football. Yeah, I think on the Rams offense coming back on. So
likely in the quarterback sneak variety here.
Took a long time for the official
Bob
Scott to throw the flag, but he saw something that I guess violated the rule on the kicking game. But again, the Rebels put themselves in that position to allow this to happen. And
flags on the play as Yancey does get enough for the 1st down. I don't think it's going to matter anyway because I believe the Westshore Rebels were lined up in the neutral zone. So this will be likely a 5-yard penalty against the Rebels anyway, as they looked awfully tight to the Rams' offensive line.
They had a nice clear first half, not a lot of penalties, and it doesn't look like they got the 1st down from my vantage point, but they do now with the offside call. But yeah, it was a pretty quiet first half penalty-wise, but now they're starting to ramp it up, and there's a lot more linen on the ground for sure.
Pleasant offside penalty against the Rebels. Always fun watching the teams point at each other in that particular instance. And always in that case, when everybody's pointing at the other side, somebody's right and somebody's wrong.
Yeah.
Now the Rams are into Rebel territories. They're at the 51-yard line. The old rugby lines make it a little challenging to see even from our broadcast booth with the yellow lines and some of the white lines and the soccer lines, and always makes it fun.
Yeah, it's sometimes hard to tell, especially when the sun's out.
Yancey tried to come on the naked boot, does get away from Piper, throws the ball. Ball was caught by number 4. Heck of a catch there by number 4 on the play, James Spencer, as he fell to the turf and made a great catch.
Great pass, and also a good pass by the quarterback because he's rolling to his left and he's got to throw that ball on the line. And that was on a dart. You can see on the replay here.
He tried the naked boot, and Piper played it okay.
Piper played it great. He just breaks a pass, or breaks the angle
just didn't break down at the end.
He took a little lick at the end there, but that was a great catch. That gives him a 2nd, and now you got to play. You can play with something here, but as a 2nd and short. But that was a tremendous catch and a great throw.
2nd and very short here for the Rams. In the shotgun, surprisingly. Yancey drops back, going to take a shot. Throws one up. That is caught by Javon Katoy. That was a little lucky, as now the ball is, he's being dragged down towards the Rebel goal line. The flags are all over the field now. And likely a late hit, as that was an odd sequence of events, and I think the Rams got quite lucky on that particular play.
I think it was Deshaun Kerr, number 4, got his hand on the ball, trying to knock it down, and Katoya just happened to be right there. But at the end of the play, number 2, Stevenson comes in and just unnecessary hit in the back. And you can see here, I'm not sure that was. Yeah, can't see it, but you can see number 2, Stevenson, coming in here and just it's out of the play. But he took the penalty for a UR, and that's going to move the ball half the distance of the goal line. Just going to move it probably about to the 2.5 yard line.
Yeah, it was against Kane Stevenson as he came in late. That's a tough one, though, with the momentum and the size of Katoy pushing towards the end zone, and all of a sudden Stevenson comes in. But I mean, it's hard because the scrum is still continuing, and he came in trying to end the scrum and bring Katoy to the ground. But I guess the referees felt a little overzealous.
Yeah, what I saw, it looked like he turned his back and left his feet when he came into the pile. So I guess he did it right in front of an official too. So yeah, it looks like they've got the ball on the 1 yard line.
Yatsu under center again. Hands the ball off the right side to Joseph, and he is in the end zone, but there are flags on the field. This is usually, again, in the variety of offside, probably against the Rebels, potentially for lining up in the neutral zone, but we'll wait for to see what the flag is.
Yeah, it looks like it against the Rebels because the Rams are changing a lot of people in the backfield.
Big play for the Rams as they extend their lead now. That is a big score for them. Kind of changing the momentum a little bit, just as I thought the Rebels might be able to make some positive yards, and now all of a sudden the Rams take it away and make some big plays. Katoya with a big catch and run, bringing it to the Joseph score.
Well, I thought the Rebels did this to themselves because they took a couple of those penalties, allowed the Rams an opportunity to hold on to the football. And the Rams have been a pretty efficient quarter for them, working into the wind to come away with the only touchdown thus far.
Ram faithful here at West Hills likes that one as Joseph heads to the sideline celebrating another touchdown. 19-1 with the extra point pending here. Snap is good, hold is down, kick is up, kick is good. That makes the score. The Langley Rams 20, the Westshore Rebels 1, with 4:23 left in the third quarter as the Rams extend their lead. Yeah, it's all-star season, as we were talking about just a little bit earlier. And like you said, Max Joseph has to be in consideration. I think many people might even look at Rhett Williams in Nanaimo, who's had a great season along the ground for the Raiders. The 2 receivers for the Valley are putting up monster numbers, and that's something also to keep an eye on, as well as Julian Winnick from the Huskers. I think those are probably the guys that most people will be looking at as at one point both Brandon Poulin and Anthony Dick were on target to perhaps challenge Derek Atchison and Devin Chinchka's record with the Broncos as a duo in the CJFL, as they're both on pace for over 1,000 yards. They're fun to watch, the Huskers, if they throw the ball well, and like I say, Winnick and Poulin and Dick have been great additions to Bob Rees' squad in the Valley.
Yeah, I haven't seen them play live yet, and I'm looking forward to it when they get over here to play the Rebels.
Rams are kicking off now. Pooch kick down the middle of the field, squibbing down to about the 25-yard line, picked up by number 16 to the right side, coming around the corner, being held up, finally brought down on the play, probably around the 36-yard line right in front of us here, but the wind has blown down our sideline marker, so we'll do the best we can here to get the yardage to you folks.
I would say about the
38-yard line. And defensively, I think some of the names you hear mentioned lots of times are guys like Sky King in this game today, and certainly Nick Daly would have been in that conversation. And the guy I really like is Connor Richard for the Okanagan Sun.
Oh, he's having a great game. I think he's blocked like 4 kicks this year already, and he's one of those. He also returns kicks, so he's a multi-talented individual.
Rebels needing an answer here as they scrimmage. 1st and 10 on their own 38. McKinnon in the shotgun, rolls to his left. Well played on the play. Now he has to force back to his right, coming all the way back. Being chased by fumble on the play. Great defensive play by number 99, stripping McKinnon from behind. And the Rams jump on it. Now will scrimmage after a great defensive play by number 99.
That was a great play, just stripping him from behind, and then Isaiah Okalik just gets the football before it rolls out of bounds. And just determination, that's what it was. Is Nicoya just chased him down from behind, and he says, with you with that right arm, knock the ball out of your hand. That was a great play.
Textbook script by Nicoya. And again, you're seeing the impact of him in his first game with the Langley Rams. He could be a force he could be a big force down the stretch for the Rams as teams try and establish a run. Between him and Sky King in the middle. That's a formidable duo that the Rams now have on the defensive line.
And that's a big addition because as we get it past the signing date last week, any lineman you can add really helps because late in the season, a lot of those little nicks and bruises start to come out.
Toss play off to the left side. Minimal gain on the play. That's Max Joseph, I believe. The players are tangled up there on the ground. Might even have their helmets.
Yeah, I think they got something caught together.
Their helmets or their jerseys are connected together.
Here, take his hat off. There you go.
Oh, that was interesting.
Number 17 from the Rose. That was Tanner Haywood.
Fans like that here at West Hills look to connect either helmets or jerseys or.
Well, they might have been talking where we're going out to the game for a beer or something. And
Velcro together as they lie on the turf, but it's always funny when even the helmets and the face masks collide and they get stuck together and guys are walking around like twins. But minimal gain on the play by Joseph, and he will be back in the backfield here for a 2nd and 9 play. Rams are at the Rebel 46-yard line. Now delay a game call. But I didn't know if that was going to happen on the play, but the referees throw the flag, and the Rams kind of broke the huddle and then went back for kind of a redo and got a delay a game call.
Yeah, Coach Snoop wasn't too happy on that one. He's angry at the officials that should have given them time to make things work. But you do have 20 seconds, and that's one of the things here in BC is that varies between park to park because we don't have the 20-second clocks, and that would be something that down the road that would be a useful addition to our games for sure.
So after the 5-yard penalty, he answered, drops back, screen is coming. He is drilled as number 19 gets in there and sacks Yancey for a big loss as he tried to set up the screenplay, but Jameel Moore-Williams came in and delivered a big hit on Yancey.
Yeah, he came pretty clean too. He came from the right side and he just had no time. Nobody picked him up, and Moore-Williams is right on top. That was a nice sack.
It looks like they were trying to set up that screen to Joseph, but the Rebels, the left, he tried to leak out to their right side, but they were able to smell that one out, and the Rebel defender stayed right in Joseph's hip pocket.
Yeah, they brought the heat that time because they know he's not Duncan Little, so he's going to take a little bit longer to get rid of the football because he isn't the backup quarterback, and some kind of surprise they're going to have him throwing as much as he has been this second half.
Whoa, that snap goes right through the hands. He's down as his knees were down on the ground. That is a costly mistake by the Rams punter as the ball kind of went through his hands, and he probably had a little bit of time to pick that one up, but as he did, he put his knee to the ground, stopping the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he took his eye off the ball here.
I didn't think the snap was that high. We'll see it on our replay here.
Look at him, he's right in his face mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just took his eye off the ball.
And then even still, he probably had looked like the Rebels were trying to set up a return, so he probably had time to pick that one up and kick it away, or at least try and run for something. But
yeah.
The knee went to the ground, and in our game, as soon as the knee hits the ground, the play is over.
Well, I guess
big break for the Rebels now. And again, they've had these opportunities, and they just haven't been able to capitalize.
Yeah, they've been inside the Rams territory a lot today, but they've come away with only 1 point, and that came on the opening kickoff of the second half.
Rebels will be scrimmaging at about the Rams 31-yard line. Wind gusting here at West Hills. McKinnon in the shotgun. Hands the ball. No, he pitches it out to number 2, Stevenson. Nifty little play as McKinnon pitches it to Stevenson off the right side. He gets probably about 7 or 8 on the play.
Yeah, it was a nice tackle by Anthony Blackwell. I think if Blackwell didn't put him on the ground there, he had a first down, and he might even caught the corner and scored. Yeah, just a little option play, faking the side. Pitch wasn't anything pretty. But yeah, he had the clear end sideline. He would have scored on that. Blackwell didn't make that tackle. It was a beautiful tackle.
Good game, though, for the Rebels on first down as the clock under 30 seconds here in the third quarter. 2nd and 1, we'll call it. McKinnon in the shotgun. Blitz looks to be coming off the Rams' left-hand side. It is coming in. Kyle Clarat.
Flag down.
Jump ball is caught on the play by Nathan Polito. Big play. That is exactly what the doctor ordered, but there are flags on the play. And the referees are telling the stick crew to hold pat until we see what this flag is.
Offside against the Rebels.
That's
negates that touchdown.
That is costly penalty. As McKinnon got in, Kyle Clarat was able to get in and deliver a lick on McKinnon, but again, threw it up. Felino made a great play on the pass.
That could also be the penalties like that, because they've had a couple like that today. And it could be the timing, you know, when Mason Brown was supposed to be the quarterback, and they maybe haven't worked with McKinnon as much to get the timing down on the cadence and on his voice reflection.
Yeah, Coach Beattie taking over on the offensive play calling duties, and told me before the game he's running a lot of new stuff, and just timing. They're coming in with not the luxury of a training camp or a preseason or spring camps, and they're trying to get all their timing and their rhythm and play calling and audibles and all that stuff in a short period of time.
So this will be the last play of the third quarter.
McKinnon looks to throw down the field. Does come underneath. Caught on the play by number 80, Felito. Right in traffic down the middle of the field. Felito makes a big catch. Driving the ball deep into the Ram territory on the final play of the third quarter.
And that was a pass that had some pepper on it as well. He threaded the needle on that right in between the guys in the lower zone into the defensive backfield.
Big play for the Rebels. They convert on second and relatively long there after the offside penalty. And now headed into the fourth quarter, they do trail 20-1, but have some life here. And if they can punch this one in, it gets back to a 2-score game. Rams have been, they're talking about much of the season in the early parts, letting leads slip away, and they were quite happy a couple weeks ago at the Apple Bowl when they were able to maintain and hold on to that lead. And same thing happened last week at their game against the Valley, where they were able to, the Valley surged late and the Rams were able to stave them off and hold on for the victory. So they've been feeling they've been able to put some teams away and seal some wins. So for the Rams' perspective, hopefully that happens. And for the Rebels' perspective, they hope to make some plays here to get the momentum back on their side.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Blocker before the game, and he said there was a character builder for his team, if you will, last week's game, that they were able to hold off that late surge by the Valley Huskers. And also the game up in Kelowna where they had to make that last quarter drive to get a field goal to put them into the lead, and he said you could feel and sense the confidence building on the bench, and so they've been looking for that all year. They've been coming close, but now they're starting to put it together.
McKinnon throws the ball to the corner. He's got Cody Holmes. That's a touchdown. No, he dropped it. Cody Holmes had that. I thought he had a step right towards the back pylon, but he couldn't come in with the catch, as I thought he was going to be able to haul that one in and cut this Ram lead down.
Yeah, I guess he didn't survive the contact, as he did have it in his hands, but he's sitting down there on the turf.
Might have got winded on the play.
Need a trainer out there.
That could have been a big play and a big momentum change at Holmes to be able to haul that one in. Once again, while we have a second, we'd like to thank you again for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley. Thank you for joining us. And as mentioned again, 2 more games on the BCFC schedule tonight. One at Hillside Stadium featuring the home team Kamloops Bronco and the visitor the Vancouver Island Raiders. That game is at 6 p.m. and then an hour later up in the interior as well, the Okanagan Sun looking to continue after their big victory over the VI Raiders, as they host the Valley Huskers, looking to rebound after their loss to these Rams last week. Should both be great games, and if you can tune in, we'd love to have you join you for those two.
Amazing how many guys on this Rebels football team play 2 ways.
And roster size, I mean, they got a big roster, but I mean, it's I guess you put your best athletes on the field, and if you happen to have to use two or three or four or five or six guys going both ways, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of the athletes, they just thrive on that, an opportunity to do something like that.
Stevenson leaked out. Good little play there as Stevenson came across the formation from the Rebels left to their right and leaked out into the flats and was able to haul in a pass from McKinnon for a good gain. He didn't get into the end zone, but he was awfully close.
Yeah, it's a good play. They've been trying that all day. They've had limited success with it, but they've had Stevenson on running that little cross motion, jets motion, if you will, and they did a little 5-yard out. Just pick up what you can.
Gambling time here for the Rebels as they need a score here, trying to cut this lead down as the clock is under 14 minutes, trying to get on the board with a major. They will go for it here on third down. They're probably at about the 4-yard line, we'll call it. 3rd and goal, McKinnon under center. Barks the signals, hands the ball off to Stevenson, nothing to do. Tries to cut in, makes a great cut, trying to get to the end zone. He won't get there. Stevenson did everything he possibly could to get into the end zone, but the Rams defense was able to hold, and that'll be another turnover for the Rebels if we have another injury on the play.
I think that was Stevenson that's down on the ground. Is that him?
No, but now he's taking, Stevenson's taking a knee there. It looks like
knee.
Might be.
Yeah, he just had nowhere
50.
to go. The Rams knew they're probably going to give the ball to him, and there's nowhere to go.
Tyrese Hogue was the injured Rebel on the play, but he's up now and making his way to the Rebel bench. That's a big play by the Ram defense to hold there. They don't have the greatest field position for their offense now, but keeping the Rebels out of the end zone was a big play for that defense.
Absolutely, and it's one of those character builders that you talk about at practice all the time. We got to stiffen up, we got to get big here. One of those bend but don't break type plays, and from the Rebels side, again, it's one of those ones that we got to keep going here, guys, because we got to have some success. And Coach Beatty, you'll work on those at practice this week to say, we can do this and do that, but we got to get everybody to buy into what the new process is.
Ooh, offside there as the Rebels jumped.
That might have been a legal procedure.
You think so?
I thought it 51 on the Rams moved.
Lynch will wait to see what the call is. Definitely movement on the play by both teams. We'll see who they call it out. It is procedure. Good eyes again, Mr. Short. As they try and get the Rebels to jump in the shadows of their own goalpost, but to no avail, and now they're going back half the distance. Rams are probably going to be conservative here as they don't want to turn the ball over this deep in their own territory. And it's giving up a safety if they have to on third downs. Not the end of the world, as it would still be a 3-score game.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's in Coach Blocker's mind, is if we don't get a first down, we're giving up the safety.
Handoff off the left side to Joseph. Minimal gain on the play. Positive yards though, but they will bring up a 2nd and very long, and we'll see what the offense dials up here on 2nd long within the shadows of their own goalpost. I would think conservative is the call here, but we will see. Sometimes you never know. You're down this deep. Sometimes people take a shot and surprise us. But I would think conservative. If you don't get it, give the 2 points up, and you're still up by 3 scores.
Yeah, I agree with you. But
again, what do we know?
It's true. That's why we've been put up here.
Handoff, conservative it was on the play, off the right-hand side. Joseph fighting for every yard he can. He's going to be short on the first down. Punt team will come out, and as scripted, we expect to see potentially the Rams giving up the safety. But again, we'll wait to see.
Yeah, the Rebels again, that's a good play by Moore Williams there, number 19. Just keep everything in front of you. Stay square of the line of scrimmage, and help's going to get there as long as you just do your job.
That number 4, Duron Kerr, made a good play there, forcing it back to his buddies. Wasn't necessarily in on the play, but did exactly what he was supposed to, forcing back Joseph to cut back to where all the help is. Looked to be signaling for Rams, might have been short a guy, as there seems to be a bit of confusion. They look to have enough guys. They're just trying to figure out the blocking scheme, perhaps, as they will give up the safety as the kicker runs around. And that will make the score the Langley Rams 20, the Westshore Rebels 3. As the Rams give up the safety, conceding it to the Rebels. Still a 3-score game for the Rams. I think that's a victory in that sense because the two still is a 3-score game. So the Rebels will get the ball back in decent field position, but the Rams still hold that 3-score lead.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you. I think any time you calculate when you were going to give up a safety or a single, you know at some point they have more work to do to get back into the football game, and 20-1 makes it 20-3 in a game the way the Rebels are playing. And I watch them; they'll eat my words now. They'll come back and this will be a game. But generally, you know how teams are playing, how we can make this work.
One lucky fan just won the 50-50 as I heard a bunch of cheers. So congratulations to that lucky fan taking home the 50-50 prize.
I guess they're trying to figure out there's a lot of talking going on there. They're going to be kicking off or scrimmaging, and I guess the Rebels have decided to scrimmage the football rather than receive the kickoff because of the wind.
Because of the wind, the Rams would be kicking with that good wind at their back, where the Rebels were able to score their first point of the game on the opening kick of the second half by Ashton McKinnon. So likely probably a smart play to take the ball on the 35-yard line.
Yeah.
35-yard. I thought it was the 4. No, that's right, 35. So first and 10 Rebels on their own 35. 20-3 is the score. Langley Rams on the road here in West Hills coming in, taking this lead right now at just over 11 minutes now. Time count violation.
I'm not sure what that is. It came from the umpire and the
somebody
the
might, or
official.
did somebody say something?
Maybe too many men in the huddle. Too many men?
Wait for the.
I think they had too many men in the huddle.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the call again. I didn't think it was delay a game because they had just blown the play in, so I was confused there why the linen was on the ground. So it'll be first and 15 now at their own 30. McKinnon in the shotgun. 2 receivers to his left. He rolled to the right where he had 3 receivers. Got the corner. Thinking about running it now. He will run. Positive yards as he gets probably about 10 probably on the play. And a good run by Ashton McKinnon. Positive yards on first down.
Yeah, that was a good run. Get some good blocking here. You can see as he takes off, he's looking to throw, but Ashton likes to run. This is what he does best. And just a nice safe tackle by number 31 on the Rams, J.P. Colombe. But again, there's no. I don't want to say there's no urgency, but there's no urgency with the Rebels on moving this ball downfield quickly through the air.
2nd and 5 now after the 10-yard gain. McKinnon in the shotgun again, looking in the direction of Stevenson. Can't find him. Throws the ball down the middle of the field. Almost intercepted. Ball fell incomplete as McKinnon looked down the seam just on cue. As we said, they need to take a shot. And Ashton McKinnon tried to connect with Cody Holmes.
Yeah, Cody, I don't know why he jumped. I think he could have caught it if he didn't jump. But Nathan Murray, number 34 for the Rams, he jumped as well on the interception, and they come up with a ball incomplete. I'm not sure why he jumped on that. I think he could have, I thought watching it live, he could have caught it in his hands.
So 3rd and 5. Is it a gambling situation already for the Rebels, down 3 scores here?
Yeah, I think that's what they're going for it here, yes. Still 10 minutes to go. But they've struggled all afternoon offensively, so I guess why not go for it?
3rd and 5, blitz coming, swings it out to Kane Stevenson's got to make a man miss. He does able to stiff arm and get the corner. Stevenson still on his feet as he gets into Ram territory. Great play by Kane Stevenson. Now brought down to play finally in Ram territory about the 43-yard line. Heck of a play by Kane Stevenson, but there are flags on the play.
Yeah, he made a lot of yardage when there wasn't a lot of yardage there. He breaks that first tackle, and that allows him to get into the backfield. And then once you get some free space to run, you can start picking where you want to run.
Stevenson ran through the arm tackle by number 90 on the play to really get himself moving on the play. That was Mason Block. We could have had him there, but Stevenson showed his speed and skill and was able to scamper through, but we'll see what the flag is on the play. Big play by Stevenson. That's the type of play that if you're a Rebel offensive player and you see one of your best players on offense with that kind of effort, that should inspire you. So a clipping call against the Rebels. That was Cody Holmes with the clip. We didn't see that on the play. Did come after the first down, so the Rebels will keep the ball and get a new fresh set of downs. So that third down gamble did pay off, although they will use some yards on the chop block or clip by Cody Holmes.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that there was a penalty on the play because there were so many guys moving around. It didn't look like many guys were on the ground, and the play came from other side of the field. That's where the flag came from.
Number 34 for the Rams is now back to his feet. Nathan Murray, as he got some attention, and now back on his feet, heading to the sidelines.
Well, it's just like I said earlier, I find the Rebels really aren't in any rush here to get downfield, and I'm kind of surprised at that.
And we haven't said the name Deshaun Greenaway that often today. I don't know if he even has a catch at his wide out spot. He's normally a big contributor for the Rebel offense.
Absolutely, and same with, I haven't seen Kane Stevenson downfield as well. He's seen a lot of little passes for him, but the main target's been, Felito's caught a couple as well as Cody Holmes.
Swing pass out to Kane Stevenson, trying to get him to dance and make a couple man miss. Does gain positive yards as he fights for every inch he possibly can. Finally brought down after about a 5-yard gain to midfield. And Kane Stevenson, once again, kind of the catalyst of the Rebels offense.
Oh, is he ever? He's the main guy today. When you want to talk about who's our offensive player of the game from the Rebel side, it's got to be Kane.
Again, not a ton of urgency. Even after these plays, as we're now under 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
just kind of going back to the huddle, and plays are taking a little while to get in. You think they'd be in a hurry up, but I guess it's hard again with basically they're still in their training camp and preseason mode, and the Rams are already in week 7 mode.
Yeah, and I think missing their main running back Jamal James, that hurts. But yeah, they just as we talk about
Deshaun Greenaway. Deshaun Greenaway with a big catch on the play and another first down as McKinnon was able to zing one out to Greenaway for a big pass and catch play, now getting deeper into Ram territory. And now they will scrimmage at about the 46-yard line or so in Ram territory. I thought maybe even they might move Greenaway around a little bit, but even move him into the slot and get him involved more. As sometimes when you're out on the island with the wind and having some challenges to throw, it's tough to hit the wideouts on a lot of these plays.
That's right, and actually why that was an impressive pass, that last one, because he had to throw from the far hash mark. That was a long out.
McKinnon passing situation yet again, looks the ball down the seam, throwing deep to Felito, cut underneath by Kyle Clarat and intercepted, and here he goes. Kyle Clarat with a big pick, and now he's still trying to fight for every yard he can. Finally brought down on the play as he fights his way all the way back to the Ram 40-yard line. The Rebels down on the play as Kyle Clarat with a big interception for the Langley Rams.
Yeah, we got a couple of Rebels down here. One for sure, but it's on the replay. Clarat just undercut the play and made a great interception as McKinnon goes deep, and he just undercuts this pass, and beautiful.
Yeah, he came back for the ball a little faster than Felito did on that particular play. Made a great play by the 2017 BCFC Rookie of the Year. There was a penalty on the play actually against the Westshore Rebels, number 80, Felito. He was offside. The Rams will obviously decline that penalty and take over 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's the second or third time today that Felito's been offside, and one of them negated a touchdown pass to him, so.
Injury on the play by the Rebels. While we have a minute, once again, thank you for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley. Thank you for your support.
Greenaway down, I
think it's Cody Holmes, isn't it? Or is it Kane? It's Kane Stevenson.
Kane Stevenson. Yeah, we could get nicked in the arm a bit. He's got to be a pretty tired man. The amount of ball he's played today.
Yeah, he's battled hard and top notch for Kane Stevenson. We hope to see him back in either the offense or defensive lineup real soon for the Rebels as he makes his way out the field under his own strength.
Now time's running and the Rams have the football and to win, so they hold on to it here. They can use up a lot of clock.
Wind swirling around. Joseph out the left side. Minimal gain, or is that Joe Carter off the left side?
Looked like Joseph.
It was Max Joseph as we see him down on the ground making his way to his feet. Max Joseph with the carry. Looked like he might have taken a shot to the ribs there, but Max is okay. Stretching it out a little bit. Minimal gain on the play. We'll call it 1. At 1.5 maybe as he gets over the 40-yard line in the Rams territory. Clock down, getting down to 7 minutes as the wind continues to howl here at West Hills. Flags have been blowing here all day.
Yeah, it's been a windy one for sure. So those of you at home that didn't bring your chihuahuas down, it's pretty good here. So that's a nice play.
Great run off the right side. Max Joseph trying to get away, trying to beat number 44, who finally tracked him down. Great tackle by number 44, but Max Joseph was able to scurry into the Rebels secondary and got a huge gain on second down.
I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a
horse collar
call on that one at the end of the play. But again, Joseph just gets the edge, and he's had the edge all afternoon. And once he gets in that second level, now you got a lot of alleys and different areas you can start making cuts. And he just used to speed. But E.T. got a hold there, and I guess the official who was trailing the play.
He had his hand on the back there, but I think he pulled it, took it away at the last minute. Yeah. Otherwise, that would have probably been a horse collar penalty. Max Joseph continues to have a big day with the yards for the, now a little sneak by Yansu. Breaks himself wide in, slides down. Not sure why he even slid. He probably could have got a whole lot more, but Yansu hit the dirt after a real big gain on by the quarterback. It looked like he just gave a little tap and go.
Yeah. That's what it looked like. Yeah, just tap and go, and then he said, I'm getting to the ground. He saw a defender there. I don't want to get whacked. That was a good, smart little play. He saw the hole, and he saw the formation the defense was in. He says, hey, I can take this. Picks up about 12 yards.
Under 6 minutes here, 20-3 is still the score. Langley Rams leading, looking for more. Carter and Joseph are in the backfield. Toss to the left to Max Joseph. Follows Carter around the corner. Rebels, had him in the backfield for a loss, but Joseph was able to sneak away before finally being driven out of bounds. Positive yards yet again for Max Joseph as he runs the toss off the left-hand side.
Yeah, came up about a yard short, but Byron McKinnon had a shot at him, number 8 from the Rebels, in the backfield, and he was kind of frustrated afterwards. You could see him yelling at himself. Now we got, looks like a flag down for somebody yapping maybe.
Yeah, Max Joseph, I don't know, we don't have his numbers, but I don't know how far he would be. He might be approaching 200 yards in this game, or they're getting very close.
Yeah, I wonder, yeah.
If you think of the big run on the 80-yard run or whatever it was in the first half.
Yeah, well, he had well over 100 in the first half for sure. I'm not sure what this flag's about. It could be a talking penalty against the Rebels, maybe.
We'll get the call here from the officials. Rashawn Provo with the penalty for objectionable conduct. Frustration might be setting in now a little bit for the Rebels now.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is they just didn't expect this type of game out of themselves today, and the Rams just came in determined, we're going to win this one.
And talking to Coach Beatty, I mean, he's like he said it's like they're like 2 games in Nanaimo were almost like their training camp, and they lost 2 tough games rather convincingly to the Vancouver Island Raiders as they tried to get everything set in place and everything else.
Yeah, sometimes it does take a while because you're not dealing with one athlete, you're dealing with 55 guys, and you got to put everybody on the same page and start from scratch. And you also got to coach your coaches. You're changing things from what they were taught earlier in the year. Now they got to relearn a lot of stuff too. And
a bit of a delay here as they get the stick set and try and figure out where this ball should be placed. Look to have it sorted out as we're about 5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Rams, very workmanlike game this game. I think they should feel pretty good about themselves. They were able to get the run and establish that with Joseph, and even without the services of Duncan Little here in the second half, I think they've managed to limit the mistakes.
Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah, they haven't had as many penalties as the Rebels. They've had probably the same amount of turnovers. There's been a lot of interceptions in this game. A couple fumbles.
Excuse me, Joseph scampers into the end zone untouched. There are flags on the play. Max Joseph, that's got to be his third of the day, I think, isn't it?
That's his third today, yes.
We'll see what the flags are. It is offside against the Rebels. And that touchdown will stand. Max Joseph increases the Langley Rams score 26-3 with the extra point coming as he scampers in the end zone untouched on that play.
Yeah, it was just an easy run as he got into the backfield again. You can't stop this kid today.
He's been dynamite in him. I mean, I think even how he's ran, I mean, sure, he's cracked a couple big ones, but even the ones where he's where he's got the 5, 6, 7 yard runs, they're tough yards.
Absolutely.
I mean, Max has played a long time, coming over and playing a lot of receiver. Sometimes people will say that, it's a different game when you're playing receiver than when you're playing running back. And Max has been good. Give him full marks for being able to scratch and claw for every yard.
When you play running back, as you take the football, you're getting hit every play you touch that football by not just one guy. It's not a DB tackling, it's a lineman, it's a linebacker. There's 5, 6 guys putting a little bit of wood on you, and it takes its toll. And if you aren't conditioned for that from the start, and that's not what you normally do, it takes a while to get used to. But speed negates a lot of stuff. If they can't catch you, they can't hit you. And that's what Max Joseph does.
Yeah, I mean, think how many times now in the backfield he's also blocking people. And that's something as a receiver where, not that you ever take a play off, but when a ball's going away from you and you're the backside receiver, I mean, a running back, you're blocking every passing play, and you better block or the coaches will be going to the hook and getting you out of there and put somebody else in.
Absolutely. Especially you're playing shotgun all the time now, and you need those blockers back there.
So the Rams now increase their lead 27-3. Westshore defense looked a little dejected after that last score, but
I think and a couple of penalties, I think it really hurt those guys. And it's a mental thing, and that's another one of them that we just not concentrating on the football. The wind also plays havoc with it.
And I think for the Rebels here, they have to just take the approach and say, these are valuable reps. I mean, they're probably not going to come back and win this football game. But at the same time, they're getting valuable reps. And, I mean, if you're Coach Beattie, you're trying to work these things out and work on different things. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, they've got a pair of games back-to-back coming up very soon against the Valley Huskers that are pivotal games if they try and get into this playoff.
Absolutely.
Keeping that playoff contention.
Absolutely. And then it's one of those things, the Rams with this win today will obviously keep the Rebels and the Huskers behind them. And they're in a position where they could probably be hosting a playoff game. But for the Rebels, those next 2 games against the Huskers, those are the playoff games. Those determine if you're going to make the playoffs or not.
McKinnon scrambles out towards the sideline, lowers his head, gets positive yards. Should have the first down on the play. It was the far side of the field and the sticks are on the close side. But good run there by Ashton McKinnon, and he should look to move the sticks.
Again, just Ashton, he likes at the end of the plays, anytime he touches the football, he's going to say, I'm going to punish you. And that's what he does.
And obviously the Huskers can still be ahead of the Rams after today if they do win at the Apple Bowl. They will be 5-2 and still a couple points ahead of the Rams. But as of before the kickoff starts, the Rams will be at least in a tie with the Huskers. With 4 wins, the Rams do have the tiebreakers. They have beat the Huskers twice this year. McKinnon in the shotgun. Looks to his right, throws to his right. He has Greenaway trying to make something happen. Swarming defense, good swarming defense by the Rams as they are quick to get in on Deshaun Greenaway, limiting that game.
That was really mobile Ram defense on that one. Coach Marvin Pope has those guys saying, you got to get to the football. And those guys got to the football that time.
Yeah, again, the Rebels have to stay positive, keep their heads up, understand that sure, today maybe hasn't gone the way that they necessarily expected it to, but again, this is so close that the old adage, you live to fight another day, and those 2 games against the Valley could have a whole lot of implications.
Oh, they really are. They're going to, for sure. And another thing is you're going to see when the Huskers come to Victoria, the Westshore, it allows the Westshore fans an opportunity to see some tremendous athletes on that Huskers football team.
McKinnon under pressure, trying to get away from number 90. Ball is getting loose, but he is able to keep it to the ground. But unfortunately, he goes to the ground, and it will be a sack on the play. I think that was number 90 on the play. Mason Block with the sack. as he was dragged down on the play, bringing it 3rd and long now for the Rebels.
Yeah, just another one where just relentless, get after him. And Ashton, again, I think it's the timing of him not being quarterback. He's only been here a couple of weeks where he has to get the timing down with the guys, and you're allowing those defenders an opportunity to get to you in the backfield.
Yeah, the Rebels, like that last score, even that last drive, just really took the wind out of their sails at 20-3, and then when the Rams got the ball and drove it down the field, that last score really seemed to deflate the Rebel team.
Yes, I agree, yes.
McKinnon kicks the ball, shorter kick, bit of a line drive, bounces back though into Rebel territory, picked up by number 17 on the play. That was J.J. Jackson with the return for the Rams. And they will get the ball once again with great field position on the Rebel side, probably within their, I think they're going to be around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like it's almost right on the 40. So, again, good field position for the Rams, but they don't need it. They're up 27-3 and 3 minutes to go in the game, and they can chalk this one up for a win for them.
Big road victory. When was the last time they won in here? In 2015, I think you said, Paul, or 14?
October 3rd, 2015, they came in here and won 35-23 and haven't won since that time. And like I said, it's difficult, but they do own the record. Their road record over here, this will be their 16th win, and they've lost 8 times, and there's been 1 tie. But over the last few years, they've had it's been tough. It's always been difficult to play in Victoria.
Rams emptying the bench a little bit here. Penalty on the play, probably a hold against the Rams. Number 19 is coming in to play some quarterback. Sean Law in a quarterback and tossed it out to Devin DaCosta. So these guys are getting some reps here. Looked to be a hold or illegal blocking.
That's what I thought, yeah.
As they're walking backwards. Good opportunity for a lot of these guys to get some valuable playing time. Rams still their remaining schedule. They've got a big game against the Vancouver Island Raiders in Langley. That game in Nanaimo earlier in the season was a wild one to say the least, and those two teams will meet again. That should be exciting. And then they have a in between sandwiched outside of that game is 2 games against the Kamloops Broncos. So Langley's in a good position. You don't want to say they're in, but they're in a pretty good spot.
So yeah, and the way it's setting up this year with the scheduling, it's that last week is probably going to be determining who's going where during playoffs and who makes the playoffs, which would be pretty exciting because I don't recall that ever happening in the past.
Rebels jumped on the play. Should be a free play for the Rams. Ball is thrown in the direction number 81.
That was a nice pass. That was a bullet pass.
Good throw to Luke Chalk, but it was incomplete. Free play for the Rams as I think number 4 for the Rebels jumped on the play.
Yeah, he definitely got into the neutral zone before he could get back. The ball was snapped. That was a 40-yard pass on a line. That was incredible.
I do. In Sean Law, I've seen him throw, and I mean the coaches rave about his arm. And I mean he's a young guy. I mean he's a big guy, but I mean I've heard in amongst the discussions where if they need the big bomb or something at the end of the game, he might be the one to be delivering.
Really?
He apparently has just a cannon for an arm.
Is he a local boy?
He's a local boy. Yeah.
Wow.
Pitch out to DaCosta. Rebels right there. Piper drags him down in the backfield for a loss of the play. DaCosta trying to get around the corner, but great play by Piper there, bringing down for a loss in the play.
Yeah, that was just Piper in the backfield very, very quickly. You can see on the replay here, he got across the line, broke the 66, couldn't get him on the ground, and just makes a good play, makes the tackle.
2.5 minutes and ticking here, West Hills. Again, the Westshore Rebels have just got to stay positive. They have the benefit of having that tie against the Okanagan Sun, which that may come into play as well, as they may end up a point ahead of somebody in the standings as the season winds down.
Yes.
Law was hit as he was thrown. He's knocked down. The ball falls into the turf as he took a big shot there. And that'll be 3rd down for the Rams. They'll be punting here as Law took a big shot by the Rebel defender.
Well, like you say, that's an opportunity to get some of the backups in, see how they do under pressure.
Yeah, you just see him looking at just at the bench and players kind of they just seem dejected today, and that's something you just don't see that often. And again, I think the message from Coach Shane Beatty is they have to take the approach and say, guys, we're still early in our season. Everybody else might be in week 7. We're not. And I think that's the message that, at least if I was in that position where I would be delivering that as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think as well, like Beatty's teams are never really are excitable types. The coaches are the most excitable guys. And I think all the turmoil and all the negatives that went on behind the scenes, and with the coaching change, and there was a lot of players who were ejected from games and suspended by the league. It takes a while to get your head around all that, to feel comfortable that we can do something, play at this level, play under this type of with this type of aggression and things like that. And I think they're still trying to feel that and find that out as well. And they get it put together in time. Maybe they're a playoff team. If they don't, well, it's something to learn and to build upon, and they start all over again next year.
Yeah, their remaining schedule obviously is after this will be the back-to-backs against the Valley Huskers, as we mentioned, and then a date at the Apple Bowl against the Okanagan Sun, and the final game in the last week of the season. So tough road ahead as they're going to face 2 good opponents for 3 different games.
Yeah, they've got a tough road, and even though that game last week was a 4-point game, they didn't have an opportunity to play the canceled game. So again, that's one of those things you go back and you say, well, we only play in 9 games compared to teams playing 10, so we missed that game experience to get our guys into the rhythm of how we're playing. And so it's it's junior football. Guys are going to come out, they're going to play. Guys get excited, they do some silly things, they do some good things, and at the end of the day, there's going to be a champion declared. Unfortunately, it'll probably end up being a Prairie team again because they're very, very strong. But the kids just get an opportunity to play some football. We're providing them an opportunity to do what they do, to play football, to get an education. To some guys like an Andrew Harris gets a chance to move on and play professional football right out of junior. So doors are opening, things are happening, and in my perspective, it's positive. It's something these guys were given that opportunity, and they're grabbing hold of it and moving with it.
Yeah, football brings a lot of skills to the table, and life skills and things that people can take into their jobs and their lives and their careers, and that's that, like you said, Paul, that's all positive. McKinnon still in at quarterback as he zings one out. Ball was incomplete as he was looking for number 85 on the play, but ball was a little bit short, and now we have an injury on the play and another flag on the play as we see that fall to the ground. Number 85, Noah Versio, was the intended receiver, but that was incomplete. We'll see what that flag was.
Again,
it might be a chirping penalty.
I think it was against 98 on the what's his name?
Roughing the passer.
Shaquille Nacker. Yeah, he just said one of the Rebel wouldn't get off him, so he pushed him off and put him into a headstand type thing and pushed him off and called for unnecessary. But I was going to say that I haven't seen this much motion, so many people in motion on a Rebels in a long, long time. And like I'm saying years, not just games. But what Coach Beatty's got going with this motion, and once they get that down, they're hoping they're going to confuse the defenses, obviously. But there's a lot of guys going. Got across the formation and, 2 or 3 receivers in motion at the same time. You don't normally see that in junior football.
McKinnon dropped back to throw. He's got Felito on the underneath route. Positive gain there, but he looks to be shaken up on the play.
Might have hurt his knee on that one. It was a clean tackle just to where he had him by the.
Yeah, he kind of got spun around.
Yeah, and he left the ground. So once you leave the ground, your body's susceptible to any type of joint injury.
Yeah, he ran the little under route, and you can see it on our replay here. He just kind of jumped, and the Ram defender kind of spun him around, and see it on the replay. There, I think it was number. Yeah, he just kind of spun.
Yeah, number 36, Colton DeJong, and so maybe it's not as bad as it looked at the start.
They're not really looking at any area yet, so they're probably just talking to him and seeing what's. Doesn't seem to be favoring. Hard to tell here.
No, but it looks like the way it was his left shoulder, maybe.
That seems to be the one. Yeah, he's kind of got it tucked in. You can see here. Yeah, it looks to be just. Yeah, he is grabbing towards the shoulder. Must have been maybe when he landed. Yeah, that left arm is kind of dangling around down. He makes his way to the sidelines.
Could be separated.
Hopefully Nathan Filito's not too injured on the play and he comes back.
Trainers have done a lot of running today.
Yeah, the trainers have been on the field a lot for both teams.
Yeah, hopefully he's not hurt too bad. He's an important part of the passing game.
Clock nearing a minute. McKinnon in the shotgun and 2nd and 5. Looks to his left, throws to his left. He's got Cody Holmes. Catch on the play. Brought down on the play by number 41 as Cody Holmes gets down the sidelines for a big gain for the Rebels.
Yeah, just fly, just get up their field, throw the ball. Yeah, just 1, 2, 3, throw the football. Let him run underneath it. And he just stepped out of bounds. So lines, it's hard to tell the lines as it's getting darker here too.
Ryan Barthelson with the tackle on the play. 1st and 10 now, Rebels on the 26-yard line, we'll call it. McKinnon in the shotgun. Drops back under pressure, throws. He's got number 14 on the play. Positive yards again before he's finally swarmed by the Langley defense. Number 14 is Steve Gelowitz with the reception, moving the yards. He should have probably about 8 on the play, maybe.
Yeah, good.
As we're under a minute, I mean, I think it's still a confidence thing here for the Rebels. I think they got to punch this one in and gain some confidence.
Absolutely.
McKinnon in the shotgun. Blitz looks to be coming from his right. McKinnon does get it away. Throws the ball with a flag on the play. That's a good call as 49 had a hold of the back of his jersey. And that was a good call by the officials as number 49, Dominic Zenti, had a hold of the back of the jersey.
Yeah, he
gave a little tug.
He was beaten on the play, and McKinnon threw it. I think McKinnon saw it too and just threw it. That's where he wanted to throw it because he saw the penalty was.
Yeah, the receiver got inside on him, and with no safety in the middle there, it was it could have been a score had the tug not happened.
Sure, it takes a long time sometimes to get these penalties worked out.
Pass interference is the call against the Rams. Again, confidence builder for the Rebels. I think if they can get in and score a touchdown here, that's something to build on.
The Ram fans a little questioning that call.
I think that was right. You saw the right hand come in there, and I think that was a good call by the guys in stripes. Rebels here now scrimmaging deep into Ram territory, probably about the 10-yard line it looks like from our vantage point. McKinnon still in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left, 3 to his right. Looks to his right, now he's going to try and scamper. Flags on the play, look to be in the vicinity of a hold as the umpire threw that particular flag in that particular area, and that is usually the call.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it got number 66 on the hold there.
Let's see it on the replay here. Yeah, you saw the arm wrapped around the shoulder of the guy who actually made the tackle, number 28 on the play. So that's a holding call. That looks to be going back or the Rebel against Rebels. That's usually the call when the umpire throws that flag, and that's probably more and more times you see. Sometimes hands to the face. That seems to be another call you see. They will take the penalty there, and that will back the play up to about the 20-yard line. 42.5 seconds left. Now we got a timeout. Looks like we have a timeout on the play.
I guess they have marked off the penalty yet. Still bring up 1st and goal.
On the 1st and goal, should be 1st and goal on the 20. There we are. Now we look to have everything straightened away, and there are no timeout on the play here, so now we'll be 1st and goal on the 20. Rebels looking for something positive here. McKinnon looks to his left, Throws to left in the end zone. He's got Cody Holmes. Ball was just overthrown. He had him again, and Cody Holmes took a bit of a step here, and then now all of a sudden ball goes incomplete.
Yeah, again, just put it up, let it use his speed. Just overthrew him. 37 seconds left. I would surprise if they didn't run the same play, because he did beat the kid.
So it'll be 2nd and goal on the Ram 20-yard line. I tend to agree with you. I would be going back in the direction of number 10. Don't see his Deshaun Greenaway back. Is he still on the field there? Bit of a delay here.
They're going to be called too long in the huddle here.
Yeah. Don't want that in the last couple of minutes, as then you lose your down on the play. Rebels better hurry here. They're going to lose to get a delay a game. Taking their time, surprisingly, they do get the playoff. Blitz is coming. McKinnon is dropped on the play. Big hit, big sack. He didn't even see him coming. That was number 36 on the play coming in, Colton DeJong, as he came in untouched off the edge and delivered a big shot to Ashton McKinnon, who's now limping towards the Rebel bench.
That's not good, but yeah, he just came clean off the edge, and Ashton didn't see him at all.
That is a defender's dream to come in that situation.
Yeah, I think Ashton got up there looking around going, where'd that truck come from? You're going to try a long field goal. Again, I think Coach Beatty's looking for something positive, trying to get points. Rams have nobody back on the play, which is surprising, but they have a few bodies. They look like they're not usually on the field that often. Snap is good, kick is up. Wind is holding that up. It hit the upright and bounced, and it was no good. Now a late flag on the play. And it is, folks, it has been one of those days for the team in red. Yeah, it's another one of those ones.
And again, that looked to be good, and all of a sudden it just held up. We'll see it on the replay here. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, it just, unfortunately for the Rebels, hits the upright and stays out.
Yeah, they did that wind. They see it just sort of dropped straight down. So the wind's pushing that ball.
Then a late hit here by the Rebels. Not that that will matter too much.
I think it was number 52, Matthew Christine, just pushed somebody in the back unnecessarily. And
I think the knee victory formation will probably come here for the Rams. As two knees, I guess, should get it done. Again, I think the motivation there for kicking the field goal, just try and get something positive.
Yeah, I agree. And it's tough to put Kyle Clark in there for that try, because he doesn't have the strongest leg in the world. And to kick the ball into the wind is pretty tough. But I agree with you. I think Coach Beatty was saying, hey, let's get something out of this for sure.
Rams will take their first knee, and now we'll have one more to make this official as the clock keeps running. As the Rams faithful celebrates a win, the Rams will move to 4-3, as we mentioned. And with the snap here, the final play of the game, your final score, congratulations to the Langley Rams. The final score of the Langley Rams, 27, the Westshore Rebels 3. For the Rebels, a disappointing effort today. I think they knew the importance of this game, as did the Rams. And I think they're just a little bit listless in this game, and maybe it's feeling their way around. Maybe it's got all the change and everything else, but I just didn't feel the energy that you usually feel from the home side in a big game like this.
Yeah, and also it's like the MO of the Rebels this year is they were struggling offensively. Even prior to Coach Charlie resigning, they just couldn't put stuff together. They couldn't make something consistent, a run game, a passing game, and there was no consistency to their offensive plan, if you will. And that's continued, and then with Coach Beatty making the change to a different type of offensive look, new plays, it's going to take the players a little bit of time to get all this down, but they're a good football team. They're just a team that's kind of floating around right now, and they're coming up against I thought the Rams played great, and when you get a team come in and play like the Rams did, that just sort of puts you on your heels, and you're saying, okay, what do we got to do to get over this hump? But all kudos to the Rams. A great offensive display today. Max Joseph, 3 touchdowns, ran all over the field. Their passing game wasn't what you kind of expected with Duncan Little after he went down, but they didn't need to because they had Max Joseph attacking them on the ground. But it's going to make it a good matchup next week for the Rebels. They travel to Chilliwack. See what Chilliwack does tonight. With a Chilliwack loss, it puts the Rebels back in that winner. But the way the Rebels are playing right now, they're going to have to really dig deep when they go into Chilliwack to take on the Huskers, because the Huskers are a very good football team.
And obviously, depending upon the outcome of that game tonight, I think the message from Coach Beattie is, guys, we're still in control of where we are. And I think this year, unlike many others, is basically just get in the tournament. And 4 teams are going to make it, and 2 unfortunately aren't for the playoffs. And this might be a year where maybe a number 4 team could beat a number 1 team, or a number 3 team could beat a number 2 team. So I think the message has to be, guys, let's just do what we have to do. We're still in control of our own destiny. If they win the rest of their games, they will be in the playoffs. And I think that's the message. Today's outcome is probably not what they hope, but they still are in control of their own destiny to make them either make the playoffs or not make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you were saying, you don't know who's going to be in the playoffs in that playoff situation where you could have number 4 beating a number 1. And the rest of the way of these next 3 games to finish out the season, it's just going to come down that last weekend to say who's in, who's out, and where are we going.
For the Rams, they have to feel good about themselves. They celebrate this victory 3 in a row now for the Rams, as they seem to be hitting their stride. Their biggest concern, obviously, the health of Duncan Little. I think obviously they need him back. They do have a favorable schedule, no disrespect to the Kamloops Broncos, but they do have 2 of their last 3 games against the Broncos and a big matchup with the Vancouver Island Raiders. I think for Coach Blocker and the Rams staff, they have to feel pretty good about this effort and obviously where they're headed as they look to be a good bet to be one of those 4 teams in the playoffs after starting the season off at 1-3.
Yeah, and those first couple games, I guess 3 games, that were all losses by the team coming from behind on Coach Blocker's squad, and now winning 3 in a row, you build that confidence, and you start to feel good about yourself. And the additions they had with the defensive lineman, that Charles Noyer, is going to be a huge help. And then as these kids get that confidence up there, they're going to feel that, hey, we can beat the Raiders, we can beat the Sun. They did beat the Sun, and they got that important game against the Raiders that is going to determine, I think, a home playoff, who's in the playoffs, as well as who's going to host a playoff game.
For the Rams, obviously, big victory for them, and as they say, they could very easily either have 1 loss on their schedule, as they felt they let 1 get away from them against the Raiders. And the game, obviously, the first game of the year was a tight one against the Rebels. So they're feeling pretty good, and like I say, I think they have to just do what they have to do, take care of business in the rest of the games, and get themselves physically and mentally ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, just looking forward to more exciting BC Junior football.
Well, that's it for all of us here today at Westshore Stadium. On behalf of Paul Short, I'm Tyler McLaren. Thank you for joining us. Once again, the final score from West Hill Stadium, the Langley Rams 27, the Westshore Rebels 3. Thank you for joining us on BCFCTV.com, powered by Remax Treeland Langley. If you are available tonight, there is the Vancouver Island Raiders are currently playing in Kamloops against the Broncos, and starting off pretty quick will be the nightcap game at the Apple Bowl in about 15 minutes time. The Okanagan Sun looking to continue their momentum against the Valley Huskers, who are trying to rebound from a tough loss to these Rams. Once again, thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to you visiting us again on BCFCTV.com.